everything they need off to the stadium, ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit, make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the kitman. In the meantime, it's on the kitman to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the kitman then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full-time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
Good morning, this is the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Spurs' rotten home form continued against Fulham.
Silva was on shaky ground 2 weeks ago, but his standing is a lot more stable than the new Spurs head coach. Tottenham 1, Fulham 2.
Spurs fans, what on earth is going on? Cass would be licking his lips playing against some of that defending, that's for sure. Man City almost threw it away against Leeds, but got the job done in the end.
Well, are you watching Thomas Tuchel? Manchester City 3, Leeds United 2, and this goal came out of nothing. Man City 3, Leeds United 2.
Yeah, that was a vital victory for Man City. We'll look back on all of yesterday's action and some massive games to come today, including Chelsea against Arsenal at 4:30. Former Chelsea midfielder Jody Morris is starting to believe.
The fact that we've had such an up and down season from a consistent aspect, the fact that we're in and around it in second place, I think there's still more to come from this Chelsea team.
That would be third against first, and Chelsea would go 3 points behind with a victory over Arsenal. We'll have updates from all of today's games on Game Day Live. 5 of the top 7 are in action, including Liverpool, who travel to West Ham at 2:05 this afternoon. Spurs fans, the phone lines are open. How you feeling? Can Thomas Frank turn it around? 03717 22 3344. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning. Did the old elbow push?
Yes.
Elbow slide. How are you?
Yeah, good. Long day yesterday in Newbury, but good fun.
I hear it wasn't a successful day when it came to winnings. Are you probably different? Did you win?
No, no one won.
Oh, no.
All of our group, none of us had a winner. But we were only betting tiny. You know, we don't have a small punt.
We fivered
fun
in there.
Yeah, it was great fun.
Yeah.
And, got back to by the time the Everton game started, and then obviously, as we're going to talk about next, Spurs, which, incredible, Shebahn.
Yeah.
I mean, look, start here, right? You've had a week where you've conceded 4 against Arsenal, and you go to Paris, you concede 5, and then you find yourself 2-0 down after 6 minutes at home to a team who've got, before that game, 1 point away from home. and have only scored 4 goals, Fulham, up until yesterday. So you'd think, okay, you've played a midweek Champions League game, but you think that maybe they'd start better than they did.
Yeah, feels like he's losing it ever so slightly, doesn't it, Tom?
Well, I'm not quite sure of his team formation yesterday, and I looked this morning and I kept thinking, what is the formation? Because he changed it a few.
Yeah.
Bergvall came in and others, and Doggy played left back. Jed Spence was left out as a substitute, and others. And I looked at the formation, which might not be right or wrong, but I've not seen this one, which was 4-2-2-2.
What you doing, yeah.
So it's like a really narrow team. Mm-hmm. And you play Richarlison and Moani in as 2 forwards. But it looked a very strange formation. The biggest problem in this game is, and I've said this about why there's a big difference between Arsenal and the rest is, and we used this word before, you have to earn the right to beat them, okay? Yesterday, Tottenham were given presents, and Vicario was hilarious because you're 1-0 down early doors, and then suddenly your goalkeeper rushes out into a really bad position on the pitch. He gets really wide, very near the touchline, and he decides to try and pass the ball to Bergvall down the line. Loses the ball. Then as it breaks and then gets to Harry Wilson, he's getting, not sprinting back, he's getting back to his goal. And then it goes in the back of the net. And then he's throwing his arms at Bergvall as if it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's all down to you.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? It's all on you, that
yeah.
goal.
That wasn't a pretty look, that's for sure, and it was an absolute howler. He was booed yesterday. Thomas Frank's not happy with that. It was something else in the Premier League yesterday. Here's how it all sounded for you here on talkSPORT.
What an afternoon we've had. Ton of goals have been raining in.
From 40 yards out! What a goal! What a wonderful goal! I think it's Tyler Adams who scored from 40 yards out. It's Sunderland 0, Bournemouth 2.
Just pick Wayne Rooney, West Ham.
And it's all over now. Brentford 3, Burnley 1, Dongo Watara. The turnaround is complete. Sunderland 3, Bournemouth 2. And it's Brian Brobby, the hero here against Arsenal a couple of weeks ago.
Phil Foden, Manchester City legend, Mickey Gray.
Well, are you watching Thomas Tuchel? Manchester City 3, Leeds United 2. Leeds players are heartbroken.
It's Everton 1, Newcastle 4. Newcastle picking up their first away win of the season, and they absolutely hammered Everton.
Tete is there, he's going to strike it, takes a deflection and goes in past the stranded Vicario. Live up to expectation, live up to the day. Well, we have our first goal. And they bent it in with Wilson! It's 2-0! Vicario with an absolute howler. Them lose again. They fail to win at home again. And it's finished Tottenham 1, Fulham 2.
By the way, I went to an event, the Legends of Football event, and Heather Small performed. And by the way, the room went up and out when this tune came on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's besides what happened yesterday in the Premier League. Lots of early goals, by the way. Fulham scored twice in 6 minutes. 2 goals. 2 teams scored in the first minute. City being one of them. Brentford 3, Burnley 1, Man City 3, Leeds 2. Sunderland beat Bournemouth 3-2. Everton demolished by Newcastle at home 4-1. And of course, in the late game last night, Fulham beat Spurs 2-1. Let's start then with Spurs. We've touched on it there, Cass. They went 2-0 down to Fulham inside 6 minutes. And then that led to the boos from the home supporters towards their own team. And that goalkeeper, Vicario, for the error that led to Harry Wilson's second goal. Thomas Frank didn't appreciate the response.
Didn't like the way the fans reacted, didn't like that they booed at him, and also in the next, 3, 4, 5 situations, for me that can't be true Tottenham fans. They should back the players throughout 90 minutes no matter what. Then of course after, fair enough to boo if we lose, because we're in it together.
Ooh, can't be true, Thomas.
He's wrong. Thomas is wrong. Look, I've got a lot of admiration for Thomas Frank and what he did at Brentford. But you're wrong. You can't say they're not true Tottenham fans if they boo. They are true Tottenham fans.
Themselves here. They're there at the stadium.
They're unhappy of what they've witnessed, and they've been unhappy certainly in the last few weeks at the Tottenham Stadium. They have every right. And look, booing is not nice. You can be a player that's got family or friends in the stands and whatever and boos. Look, I always listen. I had it in my career. I had bad periods where you got booed. You just have to take it. And do you know what? You can win them over.
Yeah.
But when you make such an error, like the keeper did, and they're booing him because they're furious with him because they're thinking, we've just been beaten by our arch rivals in the North London derby. Then we've been conceded 5 in Paris. And then, funny enough, after 2 minutes, after 6 minutes, we're 2-0 down. And the second one, mate, is on you. You know, I can't believe Thomas Frank has not said, because I don't remember any Brentford goalkeeper, maybe I'm wrong, making such an error. Because at Brentford, I saw lots of times where the goalkeeper would boot into the stand if necessary.
With the booing, does that kind of show that the home supporters are kind of turning on Thomas Frank as well?
Well, they're unhappy. Look, they've been unhappy from last season. There's things that have gone on there. Their results have been pretty terrible at home. Postecoglou last year was a disastrous season.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going that way again. I mean, because they've done okay, you know, up until the last week has been a terrible week for Tottenham Hotspur. You know, like Arsenal, then PSG, and then this game, another London derby. It's been a terrible week. So I don't know what you think of the fans. What do you want them to clap them, applaud them? They're not going to do that.
Yeah, one home win, it's just not good enough. You're right. I mean, if they're spending the hard-earned money to go to the stadium week in, week out, and they've had one home win, and like you say, the week they've had, they're obviously going to be frustrated and disappointed.
Well,
so him saying they're not real fans, I'm like, oh, that's jailbait.
No, you can't say that. Yeah. You cannot say that. I said to you yesterday, we had a conversation about fans abroad and some of the demands on them. We have fans that are very considerate, and if it's booing as bad as it gets, which it is, that's the worst thing that fans do. You go abroad, and I'm not condoning any of this, but it's far worse in many different countries.
Well, on the Sports Bar weekend, our former Liverpool winger Jermaine Pennant said the fans have every right to show their feelings.
Listen, if you can't handle a boo, if he doesn't want the fans booing, then put on a better performance. Stop making stupid mistakes. Get some 3 points on the table at home, and then the fans won't boo. So the fans don't have a right to boo.
Yeah, like you say, I mean, it's a lot worse in other countries. If their way of showing frustration is booing, get on with it.
And it's in other sports as well. Yeah. I've been to America and basketball and watched, you know, and you'd think, nah, it's the same. It's the same. If you were playing for the Utah Jazz and, you know, and they're not doing well, you ain't getting a nice farewell and well done and pats on the back. You're getting absolutely hammered, you know, and I just think, like Jermaine said, really, it's unfortunately, it's not nice and you do take it personal, but if you put in performance and effort, fans will always give you the benefit of the doubt. I learned that pretty quickly. If you're having a bad game, one coach said to me, if you're having a bad game, have a stinker. And he meant by always wanting the ball, always show for the ball, always want it. Because fans will recognise that.
Elsewhere, interesting results. Newcastle's first away win of the season was against Everton. Sunderland came from 2-0 down to defeat Bournemouth, and Man City picked up a vital win despite Leeds at one stage coming back from 2 down to make it 2-2. Phil Foden getting the late winner there for Man City. Pep Guardiola saying it was a massive 3 points. And Daniel Farke obviously frustrated as well with the goal.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you know, I'm delighted for Phil Foden, because I do think he's a very talented lad. And at his very best, he is certainly worthy of not only a squad place, but even possibly in the best England 11. But he's been inconsistent for England. But for City, at his best, it wasn't that long ago, won Football Writers Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. You know, not last season, the season before. So everyone knows how good Phil can be. And it was a big 3 points yesterday, because City aren't right. Whatever we say about them, they're not a side to me that's going to challenge for the title. Unless they really improve from where they are today, this City team are just not as good as previous sides they've had.
Yeah, we'll get into it in all details, but Gianluigi Donnarumma, the City goalkeeper, sat down for a period of time. Farke said it was a fake injury. We'll get into all the details very, very soon. And we'll get more on the Spurs defeat. 03717 223344. Spurs fans, how are you feeling about it all this morning? Were you there yesterday? You're right to boo at your own players. You can let us know your thoughts coming up for you. It's been an interesting week in the world of women's football. Also, the Lionesses got an 8-0 win over China last night. We'll talk about it all soon. And you're listening to The Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Villa striker Tony Cascarino. Why are we playing, Corey? Harvest a guess.
Some anniversary of some sort, I would imagine.
Guess what year? How many years?
Oh, it's been going on forever. Plus 50. So
65 years of Coronation Street. Did you ever watch it?
Not really, I don't.
You never went through a phase of watching? I remember when we were young and we used to all sit and watch Corey in the evening together. And Richard Hillman, I swear that guy was in my nightmares. He was a bad egg.
How could you get caught up so much on a soap?
I was young. I wouldn't go near it now. No. But the amount of people who love.
Oh, I know the numbers were phenomenal.
Yeah, it's older than you, Coronation Street. Hanging on in there. But yeah, I remember one time.
I'm not ready for Corey yet.
Oh God, yeah, don't go there. Don't do it. That's more.
Imagine doing that job as an actor for. I mean, some of them are like 40, 50 years, aren't they?
And they are like worshipped household names as well in the soapland. And one
it's filmed in Manchester, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Manchester, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Corey, people just would die for Coronation Street. Richard Hillman came into work one day when I worked at Good Morning Britain.
Right.
I remember the lifts open. And he came out, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And it took me back to like being.
You seen Ronaldo or something?
No, not in like a starstruck way. And jeez, that's him. He used to terrify me.
Well, I said last week I saw John Cleese come in the studio, and he was downstairs, and I walked past him, and I was so wanting to say something, but I thought, don't be an idiot.
He's meant to be a bit tricky, isn't he?
Oh, he's gonna be, isn't he? He's had a pretty roller coaster life. If you look at his life story, it's pretty mad. He's been married a good few times. He's had serious divorces with.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He's paid out. He did a tour on his ex-wife, or his last one, his third or his fourth. He did the whole tour was based on. This is a number of years ago on his his breakup with his ex.
You could do one of those tours.
Yeah, I could. But you know, it's funny meeting someone you admire so much. But you know, it's like always you don't. No, if you really like them,
and then don't make your heroes the same, right?
And people come up to them. I mean, I wanted to do the nice one, Centurion, like it, which is out the Life of Brian film, which is. But look, there's loads of lines you could use from 40 Towers and other things, but yeah.
65 years is Coronation Street. Happy birthday, big fella. Keep going strong. By the way, last night, 74,000 at Wembley for the Lionesses friendly against China. That's amazing, isn't it, on a Saturday night? 8-0, they won. Poor China coming all the way to get smashed 8-0. Georgia Stanway hat-trick. Beth Mead Roos got one. A really, really good result for the Lionesses. In terms of women's football, Cass, it's been an interesting wee week. Number one, my sister got sent off for Crystal Palace in the League Cup against Leicester last weekend, and it was a straight red card, rightly so. She took down Hannah Kane in a bit of a headlock. They've tripped over one of the girls lying on the ground, and Hannah's going face first into the ground. Straight red card. Risha goes off. But it's become one of those kind of viral things where then people add on and the social media adds to it. And now the FA are looking to extend it to a lengthy ban. Now, a lengthy ban where it could be, you could be looking at 5 games, 6 games, and I just think that's crazy. It's a straight red. It happened on the football pitch. Things happen. We will see what happens there. But also, there's GK Barry and Ella Rutherford TikTok draw. Now, I know you're not on TikTok.
Right, no, I don't.
But, you know who GK Barry is, don't you?
No.
Jo, your wife would know who GK Barry is because she did I'm a Celebrity.
Oh, right, okay.
And she's a bit of an influencer, and she's funny. She's just completely herself. She's made it and she's become really famous from just being the crack, making fun of herself. And she's with women's footballer Ella Rutherford, who plays for Portsmouth. So anyway, Subway is the League Cup trophy, the Subway League Cup trophy. No one knows what really this trophy is unless you're playing in this competition. It always changes its name. It always rebrands. I'm pretty sure it was named after tyres a couple of years ago. And then Vanarama Vans or whatever it was. Now it's the Subway League Cup trophy. Subway and WSL booked Ella Rutherford and GK Barry to host the draw.
Right.
It all went wrong, apparently. GK Barry's making innuendos, which she always does. She's known for it. She kind of smacks the bag of balls against a butt and she says, little spank for luck. It's just a bit of fun. If you're watching now on your smart TV, you'll see the draw happening. And Ella hosts it, and I actually think she does a good job. People are saying that she's dropped the ball in the bag and it should have been void, but I think when you watch it closely, you can see that GK Barry's kept hold of the ball and she's just put her hand back in the bag while holding onto the ball. And everyone's going into meltdown. I just think if you're hiring GK Barry, you kind of know what you're getting. You know,
it's hiring Ricky Gervais at the Oscars, or
you know what you're getting.
You know what you're going to get.
Exactly. Don't expect any pleasantries or somebody who's there to talk about women's football, because she openly says it. She doesn't really understand women's football. But she's with a footballer and she loves her partner and she goes to all the games, but she doesn't understand it. And now people are saying that is that women's football isn't being taken seriously. And I just kind of think
that's a different look at it. That's all.
It's just a bit intense sometimes. Chill out. Chill out. I mean, nobody died, thank goodness. But it's a draw, and actually draws are pretty hard to do. And I don't think they've done a bad job. I mean, I remember doing a draw on the social on talkSPORT 2, and I got it wrong. I read the same number twice at one point, and the FA person was there to quickly correct it. But nobody complained. Nobody said the men's game's been taken as unprofessional. Just little things happen. But I think this backlash, this social media backlash towards GK and Ella is so unfair. And I also think women's football fans need to just relax when it comes to be taken seriously. We are not the men's game. Let's not try and be the men's game. Let's just enjoy the ride. And now people know what the Subway League Cup trophy is, all thanks to GK Barry and Ella Rutherford. Okay, it didn't go smoothly. It wasn't completely professional, but calm down. Just everyone take a chill.
Yeah, it's a different look. Social media is a nightmare because you get so many views on, and then people will get angry about, like saying words of unprofessional. And they were obviously hired for a light-hearted approach.
Exactly.
So you have to take that on board.
Yeah.
If people are hired for, like I said with Gervais earlier, you're going to get what he does. Whether you like it or not, it's another thing. You might not like it. But if you're wanting to have a different approach towards something, then pick people that are going to make that happen.
It feels like it's in this funny place where it's like trying to understand women's football, what it is. It's trying to target a certain audience. And I do think we're overthinking that slightly. Kind of thing. Just be yourself. GK Barry's made it from being herself.
Yeah.
Right. She's been hired to do this draw. I don't think there's any need. Some people have told her to go and kill herself.
Oh dear.
Like that's with the point. Is that not a bit strong? Women's football, this community where everyone's here together. Everyone's here to be part of it, and then you get the same fans doing that.
Yeah, but it's
bizarre.
I would always say to that sort of outlook, or that some people who make that sort of. What you do is you just ignore them because people who have such a real irrational view of something that is just totally radical to an idea of how they see it. I just don't get that. To me, it's just like, well, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
To think someone should do that.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong. It's with the WSL. It's with Subway. They've picked these people to host it. They've done their job. They've been themselves.
Yeah.
We all move on. Everyone's fine.
Women's football's been in a great place. And, like you said, there's 3,000?
74,000 at Wembley last night.
Wembley for a women's game, which is brilliant.
Exactly that. Fascinating, though. Fascinating, the mentality of people online. I don't get it. You see what they're saying about you?
I don't get involved.
No,
I don't get involved at all.
No, you're on the right track. Right, here's what's coming up for you on talkSPORT today. 9 o'clock, we've got the Sunday edition with Henry Winter and Sean Custis. 11 o'clock, live coverage from Selhurst Park as Crystal Palace host Manchester United. Kick-off at 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock comes the Sunday session. Sam Massive face with all of the goals from the Premier League and beyond, and live action on talkSPORT 2 as well. Premier Rugby between Saracens and Bath is at 2:45, and then we've got NFL games at 5 o'clock over on talkSPORT 2. Keep across it all here on talkSPORT. And coming up next, we're going to look back on Spurs versus Fulham with podcaster and presenter Sonny Snelling next morning. Good morning. This is the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on your smart TV. We're on the YouTube channel. If you're about, you can tune in that way. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your headlines: Leeds boss Daniel Farker accused Gianluigi Donnarumma of feigning injury to bend the rules as Manchester City took home the 3-2 victory at the Etihad. Manchester United's Matheus Cunha remains injured ahead of today's match with Crystal Palace. By the way, that's live on talkSPORT this lunchtime. And Sunderland came from 2 down to defeat Bournemouth 3-2 despite an absolute worldie from Bournemouth's Tyler Adams. After the game, Sunderland boss Régis Le Bris was impressed with the side's bounce back after being 2 goals down.
Yeah, I think this one coming from 2-0 down is really important, especially in these circumstances, I think. So it's good for the character, the experience and the belief of the squad, I think, because probably at Fulham we missed this opportunity to show the best version of Sunderland, and in this best version we have the character, we have the intensity, we have the second balls, we have the content press and so on, and today it was the case.
Régis Le Bris there. Who is this guy, Cass? Up to 4th again.
Well, he's come across from France and he's got a great Sunderland team together, and last year he didn't have enough to be a good Premier League team. You know, they got promoted and beat Sheffield United in the final, beat Coventry in the first playoff final as well. Unbelievable. Yeah. And fair play to everyone involved at the club, because their recruitment's been, full on, spent a lot of money, but got a really good team. Seen them seen them twice live this season already, and come away thinking they won't be in a relegation fight. Yeah. No way.
I mean, we've seen mad things in football, but European football, is it?
Well, it's a long way to go. And look, probably a month ago, a lot of fans were saying, Sunderland fans, we got some really tough fixtures coming. But they're going through these tough fixtures, we're getting results. I mean, Bournemouth, 2-0 up, and I know what Bournemouth are. Seen them, and they can be so dangerous in the way they play. But fair play, Sunderland have got something special, unique at the moment.
The last time a newly promoted side got European football was Wolves in the 18-19 season under Nuno.
Was it really?
That was the last time.
Yeah,
so it's not impossible.
Yeah, it is possible. But I think everybody at the football club's just looking at keeping in the Premier League, keeping this momentum of what they're doing at the moment. The fans are loving it, so
yeah. Let's go on to Spurs now, because it was another defeat for them at the hands of Fulham last night. It ended 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was live for you here on talkSPORT.
Spurs have won just 3 of their last 20 Premier League home games.
If they'd won all the games they've won away at home,
the celebrations on the Tottenham bench and in the away end
has turned the narrative a bit more negative than it would have done if it was the other way round.
And it finishes level, and there are some boos at the end at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 2 points dropped, Tottenham 1. Wolves 1.
And what a goal this is. Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. Buendia has provided the finish.
Full time at Chelsea's playground, aka the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 0, Chelsea 1.
Tottenham Hotspur go home with just a point when they thought that they'd won all 3. Tottenham 2, Manchester United 2.
And I promise you, we will do everything we can to deliver.
And they bent it in with Wilson! It's 2-0. Vicario with an absolute howler. Tottenham Hotspur fall to their 4th home league defeat of the season. It's now 3 wins in 21 Premier League games.
Crazy game. We can look back on it now with Spurs fan and Inside Spurs presenter here at talkSPORT. Podcaster Sonny Snelling is with us now. Sonny, it's been a long time. How are you doing?
Sonny?
I'm very good, thank you guys, but not a good morning, is it, honestly? Yet again for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, Sonny, what's this week been like? This last week, Arsenal, PSG, and then Fulham.
Do you know what? I was out in Paris for the PSG game, and I can at least say that was entertaining. There was some green shoots, even though we conceded 5 goals to the European champions. We, lost yet again to them while leading. You got to remember, back to the Super Cup, we were 2-0 up against them as well. And I had some, really good green shoots. Graham Bergvall looked quite good. Kolo Muani scoring against his, club that he's on loan for. But then you go into this game. This was the important game compared to PSG. This was the one that you needed a result, a 3-1, a 3-2, anything. But to be 2-0 down in 6 minutes, I'm just like, I'm glad you know what, I'll tell you guys this in confidence. I got offered 2 tickets yesterday by 2 different people, and I said, I don't think I can go through with it. And I'm actually glad. I don't want to go there. It's just an absolute...
You're not a real fan, sorry.
I know. It's just, I can't go through with it at the moment. I've seen, I was at Man United, I was at Villa, and I was at Bournemouth, and I haven't seen a win yet this season at home. It's absolutely ridiculous.
No. It's a really strange one because, you know, the crowd, Thomas Frank calls out Tottenham fans for booing, and I'm like, well, not really saying they're not real fans, but you're wrong, Thomas. You really are. But one thing that stood out for me, Sonny, was the formation of Spurs yesterday, because I had to double check it and think, because I couldn't work it out exactly what it was, but you know, on the websites it's a 4-2-2-2, which is a very strange style because it sort of you don't really have any wide men in that sort of scenario, and yet Kudus was out wide quite clearly. I wasn't quite sure what the style was yesterday.
Do you know what it is with Thomas Frank at the moment? And I am a big fan of him from his time at Brentford, but he's making too many changes and tinkering it too much. Another 4 changes yesterday. It was 5 changes against PSG and 5 changes against Arsenal. And I don't know how you're going to get consistency by just keep, you know, swapping it around. We had no width on the left yesterday. It was just all down to Destiny Udogie. And that's where the goal comes from. The first goal is there's so much space on that left-hand side because Udogie's been bombing on that no one's actually there to track the run from Kenny Tete. It is just really questionable. And after, you know, we were playing a bit of that 4-2-2-2 against PSG, maybe he thought he saw something, but Fulham literally, I mean, and it was same with Arsenal, within 3 or 4 minutes, these teams are finding us out. And it's a real worry at this top level. You can't afford to, like, make this many mistakes. I mean, you see the mistake from Vicario and the players on not even running back on the line. It's just a real big concern, and you can't ship this many goals in the Premier League. We moaned about under Ange Postecoglou, and that was because we had a high line. But now with Thomas Frank, who is expected to be a bit more pragmatic, a bit more defensive, we're just not seeing it. But yeah, it's you question sometimes, why is he sticking with certain players? Why is he not like giving Tell a chance through the middle? Why does Richarlison still start week in, week out? I mean, I wouldn't like to be Thomas Frank at the moment because the pressure he's under, but he doesn't even know like what his best team is still, and we're in November. Well, really December actually.
Sonny, what about the keeper Vicario? Because he clearly, as he misplays, I mean, all he's got to do is just knock out a player. I don't know why he's thinking of playing it down the line, but he attempts to play it to Bergvall, who it's nowhere near, and then as he's running to the goal, and it ends up in the back of the net after Harry Wilson obviously bends it in from out wide. And he's then waving his arm out, having a go at Bergvall. I mean, what is that about?
He always does it. He will always.
Is that why Spurs fans get angry with him because he points the finger elsewhere?
I think the problem with Vicario is he does show good form sometimes with like some of his saves. Like he has, you know, kept us in games this season. I think Monaco, I know it was a 0-0 away from home, but if it wasn't for him in that game, we would have been down 3, 4 or 5. But he has also had absolute massive rickets in him. I'm thinking against Aston Villa, the shot from Morgan Rogers, although it's a good goal, it goes over him and he's like bending back like that. It's a bit dramatic. And again, with this, it's like, okay, you've given the ball away, you passed it into, you know, the Fulham player's feet, but there was still time before Harry Wilson got the ball for you to literally peg it back, and still on the Spurs players as well in defence. Why are they not getting back on the line and like, you know, defending with their lives? It's just absolutely frustrating at this level that some of these players are not really, you know, another goal on the edge of the area. How many times are we going to do it? We saw this in pre-season against Bayern Munich. We scored like 3 goals from the edge of our area. It's just, when are they going to wake up and smell the coffee and go, right, actually, we need to sort this issue out? And yeah, with Vicario, I'm sorry. I think, you know, with the booing from the fans, I feel like, and I worked out actually, this is a really fun stat. We've only had 3 home wins in 2025. My friend, who's an actual season ticket holder, I think we worked out he's paid £733 per win. We pay a lot of money to go over to that stadium, and we expect, you know, results. We expect performances at the bare minimum. And I'm sorry, I mean, £733. I think me and my mates in the group chat were doing the calculations. We're like, yeah, I think that sounds about right. I mean, I feel sorry for him.
Not including beverages and food.
And train fare.
Yeah, that's just literally just the ticket face value.
Poor fella. And just in terms of that home form, like you say, was it 3 wins this year, but 1 win in 12 at home just now. Do you think there's a psychological effect for the players, or are they just responding to the atmosphere and the fans? Is it what is it?
it's really hard to. I've said this on Inside Spurs recently with Madge, because obviously I go to a few games. He's a season ticket holder as well. It's a bit of a vicious cycle at Spurs, because obviously we're paying the second highest match day fares, and the fans expect a lot, but then the players expect us to support them. So it's sort of no one's meeting in the middle. The players are not getting any G'ing up from the fans. We're not seeing anything to G them up. So it's a real confusing situation. And when these early goals are going in, they're like sucker punches. It takes the whole, I always think when the last game I went to was Manchester United, the atmosphere was fantastic for the first 15, 20 minutes. Really, really strong, singing when the Spurs go marching in. But as soon as Manchester United scored, it's like the fans were like, oh my God, here we go again. And then as it goes on and there's mistakes, there's moans, there's groans, and because it's a 62,000 seater stadium with the best acoustics, it's magnified even more. So we're all sitting there going, oh no, here we go again. So we need to see something to get us off our seats. And we saw it against Copenhagen in the Champions League over a month ago. But at the moment, it's fizzled out again. And we're just going back to being moany Spurs fans, which you've heard me for the last 10 minutes.
Well,
in my head.
No, not at all. Listen, feel free to let it out here on Weekend Breakfast. But where can other Spurs fans go to find you moaning, Sonny?
Yeah, on Sonny Talk Spurs on my YouTube channel, and Sonny Snelling on all my socials. And me and Madge are doing Inside Spurs after Newcastle. Well, it'll probably be another loss.
Sunny, not so sunny after all, are you?
Nah. Oh, it's down in the dumps at the moment.
No, mate. Listen, good to see you all the same. Thanks for getting up for us this morning.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
have a good one.
Sonny Snelling there.
Fans, it's just amazing. Because I played football a long time ago, and I've gone all through the different decades, and then I witnessed the modern game and how fans interact and via their podcasts or whatever they're doing. It's just great stuff. It's just football everywhere.
Huge reach. You can go to someone who you find to like talking about your team as well.
The fans have to, sometimes the fans need to lift the team, and sometimes the team needs to lift the fans.
Good point.
It's got to be it has to work that way, because you sometimes when your team are suffering. Yesterday it was a day, though. Spurs had to lift their fans.
Absolute shocker. Another defeat yesterday for Spurs, this time against Fulham at home again. It ended 2-1. Spurs fans, you can let us know your thoughts. 03717 22 3344. This is the Weekend Breakfast. Coming up next, we'll get into this morning's newspapers. Morning. Good morning to you. Welcome along to Sunday's Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Marseille striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your other headlines: Coventry City maintained their outstanding form at the top of the Championship. They fought back to beat Charlton Athletic 3-1, and it was a terrible day for Wales in the Autumn Nations Rugby yesterday. We can get the latest now with Tenor Men.
Autumn Internationals update on talkSPORT with Tenor Men. High-performance protective products for maximum comfort, confidence and discretion. Find out more at tenormen.co.uk.
Wales 0, 73 South Africa. Holy moly. Suffering their worst ever home defeat as the world champions ran in 11 tries at the Principality yesterday. The game was controversially organised outside the international window, meaning both nations were missing players. Humiliating for Wales though, and it was their second worst defeat in their history, behind the 96-13 hammering handed out by the Springboks in Pretoria in 1998, the first time they'd failed to score in 33 years. Oh, shocking yesterday. Wales 0, South Africa 73. That's 11 defeats in 12 match now for Steve Tandy's side. I wish I could bring more positive news, Wales, but I think we'll leave it there. That was all thanks to Tenor Men.
Autumn Internationals update on talkSPORT with Tenor Men. High-performance protective products for maximum comfort, confidence and discretion. Find out more at tenormen.co.uk.
Our Sam Stevens is with us for a look at today's back pages. Does it get any better, Sam, for Wales in the papers?
Yeah, no, I'm afraid it doesn't. No good news for Wales in the papers. Very good news for Cass and myself yesterday. We had a lovely day at the races, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a good day, yeah.
Marvellous day. I don't think we were particularly successful with the old odds, were we, with the bookies?
No, we didn't have a winner, Sam.
No, not
None
one.
Of us.
Not between the whole table.
Yeah, the whole. Yeah.
Not one winner all day, honestly.
Yes.
Shocking.
That's a bit.
A lot of favourites came in, but we all went the other way, didn't we?
I know, it's true.
Did any of the tips come in?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
I don't want to blame the tipsters, but no.
Morning, Coddle. Oh, well then.
Never ask a jockey for a tip, I always think, because they always seem to, they have these ideas about things, and it never seems to go very well, does it?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, tipping in sport and getting it right is very, very tough.
Exactly. Sometimes
It is
it's
very
just
tough.
your luck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, lots of hard luck stories about in the papers this morning, including, as you say, Shebahn, Wales 0, South Africa 73, James Corrigan, brutal, humiliating, record-breaking and totally unnecessary. That's not James Corrigan, that's his report on the Wales game. This was Wales' first defeat at home in their history and the first time they have failed to score a single point in any test in 33 years and at home in 61 years. I mean, there's not much we can really say. It's a sort of not hastily arranged, but arranged outside the international window. I mean, I think Wales may regret taking that game now. It was
criticism,
a worrying time.
Sam, before it was even played, wasn't there?
Yes, there was.
About playing South Africa and why is it necessary this time of year.
Yeah.
It was basically a money ball, just money.
That's right, yeah.
And, look, there'll be fans who have gone yesterday, Welsh fans, who are probably not liking the result, but saying, boy, what a great team that South African team are.
I agree with that, and I think that South Africa are absolutely dominant. There's no question about it. But they were without 13 of their English and French-based players yesterday, so it does question the wisdom of putting that fixture together. You sort of think, Wales really need a bit of confidence boost at the moment, rugby-wise, and that's not going to do them any favours, is it, at all? So lots of reports about that game. I thought it was worth a mention because it's a landmark day for Wales in a bad way, and it's not to try and poke fun at the Welsh. It's just to sort of say, these things need to be reflected upon when they happen, don't they? Because it's quite historic.
And the Boks are unbelievable. So, right, like putting yourself under more pressure. You're not going to win that game, but maybe they need to hit rock bottom in a way to kind of get back up there somehow. But
that's it.
Shocking result, bless them. Yeah.
Also in the Telegraph today, Cass, and you spotted this story. It's an interesting one. Stokes, I regret horrible Ashes has-been slur on ex-players. England captain Ben Stokes has expressed his regret over a horrible slip of the tongue that led him to label former players has-beens, triggering a backlash before the Ashes even began. During England's 3-day warm-up at Perth's Lilac Hill, Stokes was asked about criticism of the fixture from former players and described them as has-beens. The likes of Michael Vaughan, Sir Ian Botham and Sir Geoffrey Boycott have responded to the comment, and the criticism intensified after a 2-day defeat at Perth Stadium. With Thursday's second test coming into view, Stokes has revealed his regret over his choice of words. You know exactly what I meant by that. Everyone knows it was a slip of the tongue. I've explained that off record. I got the words I said. They're completely wrong. I think everyone knows that. I just never got asked about it on camera for me to say I got my words wrong. Has-beens is a horrible word. It's the only thing that managed to come out of my mouth in that moment.
Yeah.
Criticism always happens, doesn't it, Cass, over the years?
Well, yeah, and, I'm sure you'd be aware that I could tell you that, from my era and before, people got criticised. You know, like I'm sure Jeffrey Boycott got criticised for something he did. Ian Botham, likewise. You know, these guys come from a period where you got stick, and it was pretty two-footed as well. It weren't just stick; it was pretty heavy stick. And one day he'll be a senior player that's, you know, retired, and then he might be working in punditry and be asked to be given an honest assessment, and he might have to be real and go, you know what, they were poor, and for this reason, you know, that's good punditry.
It's a difficult
As
one.
long as you're not being personal,
yeah,
just don't get personal. Just talk about how, like, I mean, Jeffrey Boycott the week before we talked about, didn't we, when he said the team stupid cricket, you know. And
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I get that. So every era has done it.
It's a difficult one, though, isn't it? Because, for example, like at our club, Shebahn, Man United, the amount of ex-legends, or still legends who former players, who come out, criticise the club week in, week out, because the standards aren't as high as they used to be. But then you get fans saying, all right, we get it. You know, stop poking the bear. You know, it's obviously things aren't quite as good as they were. They're in a position where they're able to do that because they are legends of the club.
Yeah.
So therefore, their opinion holds a lot of water, holds a lot of weight. But it also adds a lot of added pressure on the current generation of players, doesn't it? So there's always...
It does, but you can't be immune to criticism if you're not playing well, Sam.
Part and parcel. Yeah, got it.
You know, you can't, you know, it's like this industry.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who've sat in these chairs years before us, who are in radio or TV. They got, you know, criticised for their shows and whatever. But, you know, you try and make it as good as you can. And look, you can't be immune from criticism.
No, of course, absolutely. And you have to be allowed to be criticised, that's for sure. There's a couple of other things around as well. We haven't got much time, but I will just mention this one. The Leeds manager, Daniel Farke, called for football's laws to be changed after his side's game against Man City paused for what he implied was a fake injury to Gianluigi Donnarumma. The City goalkeeper sat down in his box in the 56th minute, allowing Pep Guardiola to gather his players for a team talk. Leeds are pressuring City, having rejigged their formation at half-time, come back from 2 goals down to 2-1. Leeds went on to equalise, but lost to a stoppage time winner. He says, if you try to bend the rules and do a fake injury to do an additional team talk, he says fake, it's his words, it is not something I like, but it's within the rules. We have to change the rules. Is there any way to stop players doing that?
But fair play for him to say that, by the way, Daniel Farke, because it really winds me up when you see keepers sitting down to manage the game and manage the clock down, and it's like, now, come on, get up, there's nothing wrong with you. So him putting that out there, Gianluigi Donnarumma, okay, he might have an injury, we'll see what happens later on this week, but he was fine.
But like you say, anytime it's for time wasting or for other reasons that are not...
You're killing the game.
They got a bit of momentum back, didn't they, Leeds? And got
that's why he's on the floor.
And you've interrupted the game. You're trying to you know, just upset them in a way, their rhythm.
And he's done it.
And they've got a late goal. I'm sure Daniel Farke's come off really, really frustrated because coming back from 2-0 down at the Etihad and then getting back to 2-2.
Yeah, he went on to say, you know, it's not Pep. It's not Pep that I'm having a go. I'm having a go at the game for for that being allowed to happen. And when it's your side who's on that, you know, and the opposition keeper sitting down and you've got momentum, it's just like, oh, it's the most frustrating thing as well. But then if your team's winning and your keeper sits down, you probably go, okay.
And also on that, I think the amount of times you see teams criticised for not being able to manage the game properly and getting unstuck and all the rest of it, and what Donnarumma's there has effectively been and allowed the game to change.
But sitting down is different.
It's not great.
Sitting down is different. I mean, they put this rule in place now that the keeper has to release the ball in, what is it, 8 seconds or 11 seconds? Now you're sitting down and medics are coming on and the team are able to go and get a quick word with Pep. You know, all that kind of stuff. I look and go, you're cheating. I think that's a bit of cheating.
Yeah, well, the head injuries is being abused now as well, isn't it? Where someone clashes and because of the protocol, you have to stop the game. But there's some that you just see 2 seconds after to get back up.
Yeah, it's a bit like the sort of
it's hard to assess.
It's like the spurious sort of injury break in tennis, isn't it? Where they sort of go off and treatment from time to time when they're losing.
It's been going on for years. It has been. Sam, thank you very much. You listen to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll build up to the big game today. Palace against Man United, live on talkSPORT at noon.
Dear kitmen, we see you, we appreciate your work. While some fans reckon it's just hanging up shirts in dressing rooms, we know it's so much more. A football team's kit is its identity, its uniform, what sets it out from the rest. But it doesn't clean itself. That's not just the shirts, it's the shorts, the socks, the training gear, the boots, the other bits we sort out behind closed doors. Who's the one digging around in that smelly, stinky laundry basket at full time? Yeah, it's the kit man. They have a lot to work on in a week, from laundry, fixing damaged kit, repairing holes, cleaning boots. Then they pack the van and take everything they need off to the stadium ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit, make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the kit man. In the meantime, it's on the kit man to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the kit man then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full-time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
Good morning, this is the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Villa striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Lots coming up for you. Spurs' rotten home form continued against Fulham.
Silva was on shaky ground 2 weeks ago, but his standing is a lot more stable than the new Spurs head coach. Tottenham 1, Fulham 2.
Shocking from Spurs once again at Manchester City. Almost threw it away against Leeds, but they got the job done in the end.
Well, are you watching Thomas Tuchel? Manchester City 3, Leeds United 2, and this goal came out of nothing. Man City 3, Leeds United 2.
We'll look back on all of yesterday's action in the next hour. Some massive games to come today, including Chelsea versus Arsenal at 4:30. Former Chelsea midfielder Jody Morris is starting to believe.
The fact that we've had such an up and down season from a consistent aspect, the fact that we're in and around it in second place, I think there's still more to come from this Chelsea team.
Chelsea would go 3 points behind with a victory over Arsenal this afternoon. We'll have updates from all of today's games on Game Day Live at 5 of the top 7 are in action, including Liverpool, who travel to West Ham at 2:05. Spurs fans, how are you feeling this morning? 03717 223344 or 81089 is the text number. Were you there yesterday? Were you booing? Are you right to boo your own team? You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. And let's focus on the EFL now. Yesterday, including the Championship, another brilliant day. League leaders Coventry came back from a goal down to defeat Charlton. Middlesbrough went second in Kim Hilberg's first game in charge after coming from 1-0 down to beat Derby 2-1. And Millwall are now up to third after a 3-2 win over Southampton.
Yeah, great win. Yeah, they were behind and got pegged back. Brilliant for Millwall.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Coventry are running away with it, but there's going to be a lot of teams vying for that second, third place and the playoffs. So, yeah, Millwall will have it. Honestly, it's done really, really well.
I mean, to get a 97th minute winner, they're building character and mentality there. It's brilliant.
Yeah, great stuff from them.
When are you going back? Back at the next game?
I don't know yet. I do go down there, again, watch them. Yeah, they've got a good side, an honest group. You know, just... There's been a lot of change at Millwall and, yeah, doing really well.
EFL access is tomorrow for you on talkSPORT 2 from 6 o'clock with all of the action from the EFL. Let's go down now to the National League South and get the life of a non-league owner. This is Eastbourne Borough, and they've got quite a story at the minute because after 45 Eastbourne Borough fans made the 10-hour round trip to watch their side at Torquay last week, they probably weren't expecting what happened next. So firstly, they were walloped 7-0 and then they had to take the long journey home. And then last week, Eastbourne owner Simon Leslie took the decision to refund those 45 fans for their efforts in making the trip there. And then talk about extremes, because yesterday Eastbourne handing out their own hammering, defeating Hampton and Richmond Borough 6-0. Football, it's a crazy old game. Here to talk us through his journey and owning the club now is Simon Leslie. Good morning, Simon. How are you?
Hi, Simon.
It's a bit of a crazy game, isn't it?
It keeps you young.
You couldn't have written a better script for this morning.
That's crazy, mate. That is wild. You must be pleased after yesterday, of course.
I think what was nice about yesterday was not only did we score 6 goals, not any of them were, one of those off the bum or something. They were all cracking goals, all team goals. And we had about, I think, 4 or 5 chances to get the 7th. And I was like, please let us score 7. Please, just give us an extra goal.
Yeah.
Put it right.
Tell us, Simon, about owning a football club, in the lower tiers of football, but still expectation there. Then you have fans, like you've reimbursed them in a way that, after the heavy defeat away from home. So tell us all about that sort of dealing
journey,
week in, week out.
Yeah, I mean, we did the documentary and it was mainly based on last season, where we came within a point of winning the title. If we just turned one of our draws into a victory, we would have been champions. And none of this probably would have happened. And in the summer, we had to change manager. I didn't get it right. And some of the people he brought in didn't fit the style of play he wanted to play. And there you are, bottom of the league, getting trounced and thinking, what do you do next? And I think yesterday was just reminded me that it's just a stupid game, stupid game of people, and it's a people game, right? And I think refunds don't fix results, but it helps me tell the story and helps me show the humanity that I want to have at this club. When I got into football, it's because I genuinely felt that I wanted to make a difference. I'd watched my own son come through and the way being treated by 4 or 5 different clubs and him giving up on the game. And if I can do anything, to help 1, 2, 3 players, then, I've made a significant difference.
Yeah. And your story as well is pretty fascinating, because you had a very successful business of your own before you went into football. Is that right?
I did. And again, that was a roller coaster business. I was the king of the In-Flight magazine, and in 2020, on March 9, 2020, we went from 150 million to minus 12 overnight. Wow. the world shut us down. So I had to rethink that and rebuild that. And I guess that gave me a little bit of backbone to be able to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to be said, isn't there? With, you've obviously had it very difficult in business sense. You've took on a football club with loads of different issues to deal with, players, fans, and just the infrastructure of a club. And you certainly seem to love a challenge, Simon, I would say.
I think I thrive when things are more difficult. When things are going smoothly, I find it a little bit boring, if I'm honest.
They say pressure is a privilege, don't they? It's some people who see it like that, who can take it head on. I like that you've said that you saw what your son went through of not feeling maybe loved or valued in football, and that made you want to go on and be an owner of a club and make sure that you changed that for the players there. But who by the way, are a pretty popular bunch, Eastbourne Borough, because your social media page is flying, all part of this documentary. Can you tell us briefly about the documentary?
So it gives you an insight into what it's like to own a football club. Mm-hmm. It talks to both Barry Hearn and Neil Warnock about what we're doing and the journey. So you get insight from people at all different levels of the game. And I try to make it a little bit more, to give the viewer a little bit more insight into what happens behind the scenes, not just on the pitch. And you get a sort of life of a football club playing at this level. And the first thing I did when I came in is I said I want to make this a league club, and I'd like to get a WSL team for the women's.
Oh, good for you.
The women's are doing better than the men at the minute. And I'm going to behave like a League Two club. So we started putting in infrastructure that gave us certainly attributes, and we have we went full time straight away. We got a full time chef in, and we improved the quality of the food. They're still moaning it's not good enough, but we're doing our bit. And I want to have a biohacking or a wellbeing centre in the ground. That's probably better than any football club, even the Premier League clubs, and we're very close to that as well. So we want to make them fitter, faster, healthier. We want them to understand their body, want to understand a little bit more about life beyond football. I've already given 2 people who play for us employment, so I want to, not just look at them when they're playing football, but look at them when they're, if there are opportunities for them to think about themselves after the game.
Okay.
There's not many gigs where they can get reporting jobs. So they've got to be able to think about, how do I make a living once my identity as a footballer stops?
Fair play to you. Can I ask you, Simon, just when you mentioned there the WSL clubs, is there a team that you're targeting now? Obviously, London City Lionesses is owned by Michelle Kang, doesn't stand with a parent club. Is there a team you'd be looking to buy out owned by a parent club?
No, we're gonna get there. We'll get there on the journey. The women's team won the league last year. They're unbeaten in the league this year.
Fair play.
They had their first FA Cup run, so they're on that journey, and I think they'll get there quicker than the men's will.
Well, Eastbourne Borough are 23rd in the National League South. And fair play to your women's team as well. Simon, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Simon, and all the best.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you. Eastbourne Borough owner there, Simon Leslie. Fascinating.
Yeah, very laid-back approach, but also with a plan that he thinks he can make the club bigger, stronger. And, down in Eastbourne, was on the coast, where there's a lot of coastal teams now, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing really well, so good luck to him.
Yeah, fair play. By the way, remember this week, Drive is out in the US of A. Hello? Darren Bent and Andy Goldstein going out to the USA tomorrow. They're going to be there for the week, so they're starting in New York City, lucky lads, and then they're going to go to Washington DC on the 5th to do the draw, the World Cup draw. So we'll know about it all this
spoiled on Drive, don't they?
Oh, that is a good old trip. Honestly, I don't trust if they will behave themselves in the USA, but don't forget the draw is on the 5th. And it's all going to be live for you on talkSPORT on Drive next week. Coming up next for you on the Weekend Breakfast, we'll discuss all of the weekend's football and build up to what's to come today. Good morning.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning. This is Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Celtic and Red Star striker Tony Cascarino, bit McFly.
This is the only one I know of McFly.
It's a nice song.
Yeah.
A nice wee song.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Doogie Pointer. He's 38 today. He is one of McFly.
Yeah, I guess that.
Who's your favourite boy band?
Oh, the Beatles.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, they are. I thought they were unbelievable.
What about
their achievements?
Youngish, like more.
What now?
More current-ish times. Fair enough for the Beatles. They'll go far. The Beatles. They've got a career
I
ahead
would
of them.
probably have gone. I was quite a fan of Boyzone more than Westlife. More Boyzone.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Boyzone, but then Westlife burst onto the scene early
Yeah.
90s, and I was about 8 and just in love with these guys, and I loved Mark so much. And then he came out as gay, and I remember being like, life is over.
Yeah, I saw Take That, and I was really impressed with them when I saw them at Wembley. They were really good.
Gary Barlow's got some voice. Hasn't he?
Well, they're all look. It's a bit like I go back to the Beatles. If you dissect the Beatles and their achievements, they made an incredible array of different types of music. They all had hit number ones as individuals as well, from Ringo Starr, George Harrison, John Lennon, and Paul McCartney. But they were, unfortunately with boys band, they become cheesy, but by the way people get a little bit bored with their success.
Mm.
You know, if you think of Westlife and how they had 6 number ones on the spin, was it something like ridiculous like that?
Huge.
You know, when you have that so much success, people then start to look at you and I mean, I never got why people would think the Stones are way better than and the Stones are a great band. But if you look at the achievements of the Stones and compared to the Beatles,
I would have been Rolling Stones over the
Beatles. A lot of people would, and I get it. It's just an opinion.
I remember one time saying to Jeff Stelling on breakfast, kind of for a laugh, that the Beatles were overrated. Well, that was the beginning of the end for me. Won't happen again. Happy birthday, by the way, to Doogie Pointer from McFly. Let's get into the rest of yesterday's football. Man City defeating Leeds 3-2. We've gone into that in a bit of detail. A crucial win, though, for Manchester City. And Leeds were really getting at them, weren't they?
Yeah, in the second half. And Calvert-Lewin came on at half-time, and it just gave them a bit of... Look, Daniel Farke's trying things, and he went with Nonto and Daniel James in the first half, and he had to make a couple of substitutions after being 2-0 down. This is what one of the challenges is for clubs like Leeds who get promoted, because City, you know, when it's 2-2, you know that it's probably going to be a dramatic winner for City. This is the way with the bigger clubs. They just do it so often.
Yeah, huge result for them. And fair play to Leeds, giving it some yesterday. Also Newcastle, a brilliant win against Everton, 4-1.
Watched that last night.
To go to Hill Dickinson, where it's been a fortress really for Everton since they've moved into that stadium. And considering Newcastle have been struggling with that away form, 4-1 is some going for them.
Well, it was, and it was amazing watching Everton being so organised at Old Trafford with 10 men, and then watching them with 11 at home, struggling so early on against Newcastle. I mean, look, Newcastle got ahead in the very first minute of the game, didn't they? Scored a goal, and just caused Everton a lot of problems. And yet, on the Monday night, I'm watching Everton being able to handle a Manchester United team at Old Trafford, and this shows you how hard it is with football, because you can look at the previous week and you think David Moyes would have been he was, like he said, full praise for the way his Everton team, and felt they were never in trouble at Old Trafford. And then yesterday, they were in trouble from the very first minute. How bonkers is that?
Football.
It's just mad, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Sport.
Eddie Howe, though, commented on his side's performance. He urged his team that they need to keep winning from now.
Really, really important. Back-to-back wins in the Premier League is the only thing that's going to help us, and now we need to try and back it up again if we can with 2 really tough home games, but we can look forward to them, and maybe with a slightly different feeling than we've had before. We're searching for consistency. Hopefully that helps us.
Malik Chow, I mean, how important has he been for Newcastle?
Yeah, he's set pieces, very dangerous. Obviously, you got Dan Burn in there as well. But yesterday, Newcastle looked like they got there when they're on, like they were against Man City, and they're dynamic. They struggled in Marseille. They started really well in Marseille midweek in the Champions League, Newcastle. And as the game wore on, they just looked like they got a little bit leggy, made a few changes. But yesterday, from the opening bell, they were pedalled down and made it very, very difficult for Everton.
It sees Newcastle up to 11th now in the table. Obviously, Everton now slip into 14th. We've got 5 of the top 7 in action today, including Palace against Manchester United. It's live on talkSPORT for you this at lunchtime. And coming up for you next on the Weekend Breakfast, we're going to be joined by singer and songwriter for our Artist of the Week. I've heard he's brilliant. Andrew Cushion is with us next morning. Good morning. This is the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne with someone who knows how to do a shampoo set and score a goal or two as well. Tony Cascarino. Some of your headlines this morning. Interim boss Martin O'Neill expects today's visit to Hibs to be the last game of his temporary return as Celtic manager. He's done well, winning 5 of his 6 games. Good luck, Martin, to what's next, and maybe see you week after next in talkSPORT with Jim White and Simon Jordan, maybe from 10 o'clock. Wilfred Nunsey is due to take over at Celtic, and good luck to him. Keith Andrews said the club are behind Igor Thiago's big dream to play for Brazil after the forward took his tally to 11 goals in 13 games during their 3-1 win against Burnley. Keith Andrews, he's doing bits, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, look, Thiago's story is incredible because when they first took him, he had a serious injury that hardly played last season, and he was the replacement for Ivan Toney. Yeah. So it's working brilliantly for Brentford yet again, getting a transfer of a centre forward, because they've had a good few, by the way, over the last decade or so, where they've sold one and then got another one who's done brilliantly well, so fair play to him.
And yeah, keep dreaming, by the way, Igor Thiago. It looks very, very possible because he's scored more than any other Brazilian in the top leagues. Looks very possible for him. Also at 2:05 today, it's Forest against Brighton in the Premier League. Forest looking to extend their win and run to 4 games in all competitions ahead of this one. Boss Sean Dyche hopes they can continue the positive momentum.
We've got to maintain standards, and I think the players are learning that, or certainly my standards, the way I want to work. And I think they're adapting to that, and I think they're doing a good job. The last one doesn't guarantee the next one, and I've also reminded them of that. It's not that easy, football. So you've got to consistently work hard at what you do every day, and everything counts.
It'll be a tough one today against Brighton, but Forest are banging on the goals, coming off the back of a big win.
Yeah, really good game today. Brighton have been on good form as well, haven't they? Forest have turned it around under Sean Dyche. So, yeah, really, that will be a top game this afternoon, and I would always say Brighton's a great test for anybody. Yeah. They always set the standards of being a difficult team to play against, loads of pace. Welbeck's on fire, so yeah, really, really good game.
Kicks off at 2:05. All of the updates coming for you on Game Day Live here on talkSPORT, and it's time now for a bit of this.
If hope is a key, find me at your doorstep. If love is the law, well, I can wait my turn.
This is New World Blazing by singer-songwriter and Newcastle fan Andrew Cushion, who's with us now in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
Hi, Andrew.
Good.
How are you doing?
Newcastle fans will know you because you're on the playlist at St James's Park.
Well, I've been played at the ground a few times, it's always quite a special feeling. I've heard it once or twice. It's normally on before I get in, though, you see. I'm normally hammered in the pub by this point. But it's pretty cool, yeah. It's pretty good.
That's just brilliant.
What's it like being a Newcastle fan over the last few years, Andrew? Because it has changed a hell of a lot.
A hell of a lot. I mean, the last few years has been remarkable. It's got a hell of a lot better in the last 24 hours after we turned over sort of it last night. But it's been amazing. All Newcastle fans ever wanted was a team that tried to compete. That's all we wanted, just someone to play, just a team to play for the badge. And the last few years we've got that, and we've also got all of the success that's came with it as well. So it's a great time to be a Newcastle fan, yeah.
Yeah, and it all feast itself. I mean, Middlesbrough are doing well, Sunderland are doing well. And I mean, not much of a smile there, but
no, a raised grin. Not for me.
You're humouring us, is what you're doing, Andrew, with that.
No, listen, it's always nice to see teams in the North East do well, excluding Sunderland.
You're looking forward to the 14th of December. That's when the derby will take place.
Yes, I can't wait. Obviously, we played them in the FA Cup the last season or the sort of year before, and it was a good day. It's nice to have those derby days back, and yeah, we've got to try and set the record straight because they've done it a few times in a row when they were back in the Premier League. So yeah, we've got to try and turn them over, I think.
Just remember, Andrew, that when you hit it really big, you'll have a lot of Sunderland fans who might want.
Listen, mate. Honestly, it's all music fans, isn't it? It's music fans. Music fans. I've got nothing against music fans.
Is it true you used to be a goalkeeper?
I was, yeah.
How long were you a keeper?
I was a kid. I mean, I started playing when I was young. I was obsessed with people like Shay Given and stuff. He was my
I played with Shay.
Did you?
Island, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I was fortunate enough to kind of meet him and stuff on a few occasions, and it's I meet all these musicians and stuff that I was tied into from the age of 18, but actually sitting down with footballing heroes is a bit of a different feeling, isn't it? So he was the one that inspired us to put on the gloves, and then Noel Gallagher was the one that inspired us to take them off.
So wait a minute, Noel Gallagher actually likes your music. He looks out for you. He champions your work, right?
He got me my first record deal when I was 18.
Wow.
So I was still playing football at the time. Somebody in my management knows him and sent me a few tunes, and he ended up producing one of my songs and stuff a few years ago, and we went on the road with him, and he still keeps in contact and stuff. We'll give him a little bit of stick after the sort of City game the other week, but he's great, man. He's been a bit of a mentor and a bit of a inspiration for me for the last few years, but he's helped out enormously.
It's a big learning curve, isn't it? When you've seen someone who's got to the very top in music, and then they give you advice, and they're giving you for helping for all the pitfalls that have come along the way.
Yeah, but of course, I went from pubs to getting a phone call off Noel and being invited down to London for the first time in my life. And it was like 18 years of age. I didn't think anything of music was ever going to come, and thankfully it did. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sat here at all hours of the morning.
How old are you now?
I'm 43 now.
I suppose I need your skincare because you still look 18.
It's good, isn't it? It is good. It is good. No, I'm 25. Yeah,
and it's going
25.
well. And I'm surprised Noel Gallagher likes you, considering he's a massive Man City fan. He's always here on the show. He's always here on talkSPORT. Big friend.
But we done it. I remember we done a gig with him years ago, and he takes this big Man City flag everywhere, and he was playing a gig in Newcastle, and I got a photo in front of it with an even bigger Newcastle flag. And I was politely shouted it to take that down before Noel entered the building. But he's great. He's great, and it's nice. It's nice that you can have that football banter with a lot of people. Like everybody in music that I've got along with seems to be nice. But it's nice that you've got that football side as well. You can all take the mick out of each other. And stuff.
Listen, you're doing really well. You've got support from some of the best artists that we've ever seen come out of this country. You've supported even One Direction's Louis Tomlinson.
Yeah, that was mad. We went to North America and Europe with him. He took me around to Hollywood Bowl and Greek Amphitheatre, all these bucket list venues that you want to play as a musician. We were kind of ticking one off every other day,
You know our Gabby Agbonlahor, who works here?
Yeah.
He once hammered Louis Tomlinson in Soccerade, and Gabby was like threatened by all the 1D fans.
Yeah, I remember.
Said they're worse than Birmingham fans.
Yeah, I remember seeing the highlights of that game.
Oh, brilliant. Well, listen, thanks for being with us today. You're going to do an acoustic version of, is it the same song, You Are Blazing?
I believe so. I may as well. I'll try and remember the words.
Take it away. Listen, thanks for being with us. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. This is Andrew Cushion and New World Blazing. Enjoy.
If hope is a key, well, find me at your doorstep. And if love is the law, well, I can wait my turn. 'Cause we are but people, you and me. And it would take a new world blazing to bring me to my knees. 'Cause we are but people, can't you see that it would take a new world blazing for you and me? We'll live for the night and dry up in the morning, reading up on your lines. I've never liked the way it tastes. 'Cause we are but people, you and me. And it would take a new world blazing to bring me to my knees. 'Cause we are but people, can't you see that it would take a new world blazing for you and me. As we try to find the answers for the things that they demand, like a painting of a madman with a shadow in his hand. 'Cause this'll take more than a memory to fix this broken man. It would take a new world world blazing. It would take a new world blazing. It would take a new world blazing for you and me.
Wow, what a voice!
I was trying to shorten it down.
Really good.
It's like a 6-minute song, that normally.
You shortened it well.
It's brilliant stuff.
Left us wanting more. It's a good sign.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Well, you can find the music in all the local places. Don't know what camera I'm looking at. But all the local ones. Or the far afield ones. Find it anywhere.
Well, listen, good for you. Thanks so much for coming in, Andrew. You are going on tour again soon? Have you got anything?
We've got a few bits. I've got to go back and do... We've been recording in the Bahamas the last few weeks. So.
Natural.
Tough.
Yeah, are you okay?
Do you know what, right? I'll tell you this story, right, before I go. It was sandflies. You heard of sandflies?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that as well. Sandflies were this new
I haven't
thing
heard
that
of them,
I did.
so I hadn't. No.
Feet were bit to bits.
No.
Totally, I couldn't walk for days.
Okay, so it was quite tough.
It was quite tough in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Everything else was great, though.
Sounds unbelievable. Listen, keep going strong. Thanks for coming to see us.
Thank you very
and
much.
good luck for what's to come.
Good luck, Andrew.
Andrew Cushion, you can get all of his music wherever you listen to your music. Good luck to you, sir. And it's time now for this.
Las Vegas, baby, on talkSPORT.
Smooth exit there, Andrew. Just tripped on his way out the studio. Happens. That's showbiz, babes. You keep going.
Don't worry about the sandflies.
Listen, I need to tell you about the talkSPORT Trophy. The talkSPORT Darts Presenter Trophy 2025 is now in its third year. It's 8 of talkSPORT's biggest names all going head-to-head in the Darts Trophy. And this year, you and a friend could be there. It's really good fun. We broadcast it all on the YouTube channel. It's a good laugh. You could be there with a friend on Wednesday the 10th of December in London. 2 seats and a money cannot buy experience for the ultimate talkSPORT fan. I think Dean Saunders might win again, third year running.
Do you?
He's too good.
Yeah.
Unless Darren Bent turns it around. I think it could be.
He's got to beat Natalie. Get stick for another year.
Oh, that would be just amazing if Natalie beat him again. Honestly, his face last year. We're going to send you to the opening day at the PDC World Darts Championships as well. 2 nights in a hotel and 2,500 cash. So it's a great competition, and you get to come and see talkSPORT at the Darts Trophy on Wednesday the 10th of December. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2, one standard network rate message, or you can call this number 0343 423 9761. Lines close at 4 o'clock next Thursday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus and excluding UK excluding Northern Ireland. For your chance to win, text the word WIN to 83338 now. It's a network promotion. Full terms and conditions, as always, on the website for you at talksport.com. Coming up next, we're going to look ahead to our lunchtime kick-off today in the Premier League. Crystal Palace host Manchester United. We'll get into that next. Good morning. Morning to you. Hope your Sunday's going well so far. The 30th of November.
Yeah.
30 days, half September, April, June and November. When are you putting the tree up?
No, I think it goes up Mondays, but it's first on Monday, isn't it? Tomorrow.
Yeah, true.
So
we went early. We went yesterday.
Did ya? Yeah. My missus was going to, but because our daughter didn't come back yesterday, she was meant to come home, and she didn't. So my missus, we're going to do it Monday.
I love decorating the tree, and I'm pretty specific, and the kids have been so up for getting the Christmas decorations out, like when Halloween finished. So my daughter was up helping me yesterday, and she's so excited, but it's a bit of a bomb site.
Yeah.
When she does the tree, I'm like, But then you don't want to be a Grinch. I'm like, no, that's got to go there, that's got to go there.
Yeah, I don't get involved in any of this.
I did move it when she went to bed. Am I a bad mum? She'll come down this morning and be like, what the hell's this? Yeah.
Yeah, well...
Tree's good.
Yeah, it'd be good fun.
It's cute.
Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to this year.
Yeah, I love that you're into the festive spirit nice and early.
Yeah, well, as I'm getting older, I'm meant to get more miserable, but I'm going the other way.
Good to hear. Glad to hear it. Some of your headlines this morning: a fired up Sunderland came from 2 goals down to beat Bournemouth 3-2 in a torrential rain and go 4th in the Premier League table. Sunderland up to 4th this morning. Magic stuff. And Oscar Piastri pipped McLaren teammate and rival Lando Norris to pole position for the potentially title deciding Qatar Grand Prix. Let's focus on lunchtime today here on talkSPORT. Crystal Palace have won 3 of their last 4 against Manchester United in the league. United's only win away this season in the league was that 2-1 win at Anfield. This game is live for you here on talkSPORT today.
Rebound is turned in by Amurabat, and Strasbourg take the lead against Crystal Palace.
A game we shouldn't definitely lose.
And the referee blows the full-time whistle, and Everton have won it.
So the fact that he's stuck with the 3 centre-backs to the bitter end, I think is a dereliction of duty.
We are in the bad times. It's not getting better. It's not getting better.
It's all about what you do with the system and how fluid you are. And
we play in the different moment. We defend in the different space. We try to attack in the different way. They are just doing the things better than us.
Just when you thought they were turning a corner, they've run into another cul-de-sac. Manchester United 0, Everton 1.
Running into a cul-de-sac. So Sam Marface. I love it. We're joined now by Palace fan and content creator Ollie Thomas to look ahead to this one. Good morning, Ollie.
Ollie.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. Ollie, first and foremost, I was looking at numbers this morning and I was thinking, so far this season, Palace have played 21 games and Man United have had 13. Obviously, you've had European escapades, which has come at a bit of price. And also, probably this week against Strasbourg was an absolute typified what I'm talking about, really.
Yeah, this week against Strasbourg was frustrating. That was a game that I thought we didn't play very well in, but we still should have won, really. We missed 2 open goals, which is frustrating. It's a small squad having to cope with Europe, and our manager is highly competitive, which is great, and he's instilled a winning mentality at Palace probably for the first time ever, but that does come at a cost in terms of rotation or lack of rotation. Even when we played Liverpool in the League Cup, Liverpool played the kids entirely and we basically went full strength, and it's great because we won and we went far in the competition, but I think amongst our fans, there is a slight fear of, okay, well, if we get into, February, March time and we're still competing in Europe, or hopefully we are competing in Europe, when we're still, top 7, 8 in the Premier League and then we're in the FA Cup, how are we going to cope with that as a squad? Because it's a small squad, as Glasner said before as well. So it's good because we're doing well broadly. I mean, I think we're 6th at the moment in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Obviously, still in with a good shout of getting into at least the playoff round of the Conference League. But the players must be getting pretty tired, I think.
Yeah, and you could add on to that as well that Manchester United have had they played Monday night, but they've had a free week to get prepared for Crystal Palace away, where you play Thursday and you've had a number of games. I was looking earlier in November. Okay, you've only played 5, but United have played 3. And we talk about small margins in sport. When you're playing Thursday and Manchester United played on Monday, they've got a lot of preparation time in there.
Yeah, it's something which, as a fan of a team who's not been in Europe before, I was always hyper aware of it when, like, West Ham would suffer, for example. They're one that really stick out to me as someone who used to suffer playing Thursday to Sunday, and now we're in that position as well. I think our record hasn't been awful so far, but it feels like we're playing in the Conference League at almost like a 60-70% effort. Like we're not going at those games 100% is what it feels like to me. I think the next month or so is going to be a real test because we've got 2 more Conference League games. We've got Burnley midweek next week, and then we've got the League Cup quarter final just before Christmas. So we're playing twice a week for the next 4 or 5 weeks, I think. And I think that period of time could be really make or break. And we'll have to use our squad more than we currently are. I know that Glasner, he has his favourites and it works and we win games, but people like Mateta, like Sarr, Daniel Munoz, they're playing basically 90 minutes twice a week. And there's only so much that you can do before eventually, you'll start to feel the effects.
Yeah, I mean, 8 games coming up in December. I mean, it's good for for Palace fans. I mean, obviously lots to focus on, and hopefully good things ahead. But it's that kind of price that you pay for being so successful last season.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm just tired watching the football. Like I've never had so much Palace to watch. Every week, I'm like, God, we're playing again. I don't have this in me, so I don't know what the players are like. But no, it is good. And when we're such a good team to watch as well. Like this isn't previous Palace teams where we labour through games. We attack everyone. We think we can win every single match. And yeah, it's really good to watch. And it's nice to kind of have more of this team now after we won the FA Cup last season. You want to watch Palace every week or like more than once a week when you're playing well. We're definitely getting that at the moment, which is nice.
Yeah. You've got a lot of good players. I always say, Palace are such an organised team, and Manchester United literally play the same system, but I think you do it better than them. So it's a great, watching today with the 5 at the back or, the 3 that become 2 wingers, that they do that same system.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I heard Glasner talking in the week about how to him the system is kind of irrelevant and that he actually doesn't, if he had to pick any formation, he wouldn't pick playing 5 at the back, but it just is what suits our squad best. And we've played the same formation broadly under Glasner since he came, but the way we play it has changed so much. We've been really flexible with how we set up in it. I think when you look at how we transitioned from Michael Elise to Ismail Assar, they are entirely different players playing in the same position, but everyone else is the same. The formation's the same, but the way we approach the game has become different. And I think maybe this is something that Amorim suffered with at Man United is that I mentioned about how we play the same 11 every week, and sometimes it means there's fatigue and players look tired, but it means that everyone knows their role so well. And I feel a bit sorry for Amorim because I think that in some positions, particularly in midfield, he's not being kind of given the platform to succeed. And midfield and the wing backs in particular is what this formation lives and dies on, really, from what I've seen at Palace. And he's not really had the consistent selection available to him. And I think if he could pick different players to play in those positions, he definitely would.
Yeah. Ollie, how do you see today going? What's your prediction?
Well, our record against United is insanely good. I don't think we've conceded a league goal against them for like 2.5 years. But there's still a part of my brain that's like, well, it's Man United and we did play on Thursday, and it's I'm pretty convinced one team is not going to turn up today at all. I just hope it's not us. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Palace win because that's what I've said elsewhere. So I've got to be consistent.
Ollie, it's been good to have you on the show this morning. I see you everywhere on my timeline and on social media. You're doing bits at talkSPORT is where we can find you on TikTok, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, good to know that I'm infiltrating your algorithm. It means I'm doing my job.
You're there and thereabouts all the time. Ollie Thomas, content creator and Palace fan. Coming up for you next, we'll get more Premier League talk. We're building up to that game this afternoon, of course. Palace against Manchester United is live for you here on talkSPORT. Then later on this afternoon, huge game at the top. Arsenal travel to Stamford Bridge. Good morning. This is the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT.
Dear kitmen, we see you, we appreciate your work. While some fans reckon it's just hanging up shirts in dressing rooms, we know it's so much more. A football team's kit is its identity, its uniform, what sets it out from the rest. But it doesn't clean itself. That's not just the shirts, it's the shorts, the socks, the training gear, the boots, the other bits we sort out behind closed doors. Who's the one digging around in that smelly, stinky laundry basket at full time? Yeah, it's the kit man. They have a lot to work on in a week, from laundry, fixing damaged kit, repairing holes, cleaning boots. Then they pack the van and take everything they need off to the stadium, ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit, make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the kit man. In the meantime, it's on the kit man to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the kit man then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full-time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
Good morning, troops. Welcome along to Sunday Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT with me, Shebahn Aherne, and former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Yeah, Spurs' rotten home form continued against Fulham last night. Thomas Frank had harsh words for those who booed his players.
For me, that can't be true Tottenham fans. They should back the players throughout 90 minutes, no matter what, because we're in it together.
Cass says that is wrong. You cannot say that they're not real Tottenham fans. Some of the worst home form in recent memory. What is going on, Spurs fans? 03717 223344. Massive games come up for you today. Chelsea take on Arsenal at 4:30. Former Chelsea midfielder Jody Morris is starting to believe.
The fact that we've had such an up and down season from a consistent aspect, the fact that we're in and around it in second place, I think there's still more to come from this Chelsea team.
You never know. You just never know. That's third against first in the Premier League today. Chelsea would go 3 points behind with a victory. And Crystal Palace versus Manchester United is live for you this lunchtime here on talkSPORT. Ruben Amorim will be hoping United's away form can start to improve.
It's hard to point one thing why we are not winning away. There's a lot of issues. We are improving. We have advantage in the away games. We need to know how to finish the games in order to win.
Building up to that game at lunchtime here on talkSPORT. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. 2 hours have passed and I don't think we've even talked about Liverpool yet. Usually it's the
No,
thing
try to avoid them.
isn't it? They play today, West Ham, 2:05. Obviously away today. How do you see this one going? Huge pressure, isn't it?
Very concerned. 13th in the table, Liverpool are. Conceding goals for fun. Not looking particularly good in any part of the pitch. Midfield, forward line, defence. Alisson was ill in midweek, so hopefully he'll be back today. But Liverpool are going to West Ham. We've had a few results of late. And I'm concerned because I think Liverpool is easy to play against at the moment. You just have to look at the goals against column. It tells you everything that's wrong at Liverpool. PSV was, Nottingham Forest previously, then PSV this week. At the moment, I can't see anything that's good that's coming out of Liverpool.
And how do you really feel? It's hard to be positive, isn't it?
I'm on a crest of a slump. It's a bit like Liverpool. No, Liverpool are struggling. It's obvious watching them. Watch the goals, the goals they conceded in midweek, individual mistakes, and just being overrun by a PSV team that had so much more energy than Liverpool.
This criticism that they've been getting, I mean, we've been discussing criticism a lot this morning. You can't be immune to it. You can't be exempt from it. But do you think the heat that Virgil van Dijk's getting is fair?
Well, look, he's been an unbelievable player, and he sets the bar. He sets his own bar, Virgil. He's been brilliant, like Salah. But this year, they've both played way below what we know they're capable of. And they're not the only two. The only player is obvious that comes out of any credit so far, I would go Dominic Szoboszlai. And after that, I think Gakpo's done okay. But there isn't many good news stories at Liverpool in any position.
Yeah, Liverpool boss Arne Slot was asked ahead of the game what he can do differently to turn their shocking form around.
That's not so easy to say what can I do different, but it's quite normal if you win or lose or draw that you reflect on a game. Which decisions have you made? What have you done during the week? All kind of usual things managers do if they win or lose. But maybe you do it a little bit more if you lose. You try to find the answer to what is needed to win a game of football, and in the end it's about doing what this club is about, is keep fighting, and no matter how difficult it is, we have to fight together. But it would also be nice if we would reward ourselves in the moments we play well, because people are very focused and correctly about the parts we don't play well, but there are definitely large parts of the games where we do play well and where we do create a lot of chances, and we tend to forget to reward ourselves in those moments, and every small mistake or small error immediately leads to us conceding a goal, and that is a very bad cocktail to have.
Yeah, they've been so poor, but the fact that he won the title 7 months ago, it can't be a write-off now. You've got to give him that time, surely, Cass.
I said I want to see if he can turn it around, because at the moment, Liverpool are in trouble. Liverpool have got a good record with managers where they stay longer than most clubs, let's just say that. But they were on a bad run previously in the season when they lost at home to Manchester United, lost at Chelsea, lost at Galatasaray. Then we played Eintracht Frankfurt and we won 5-1. And it was that, turn the corner again. Well, straight after that game, we lost at Brentford 3-2. Beat Real Madrid further down the line in the Champions League. Straight after, lost 3-0 against Man City. Lost at Forest, I think it was after that. Lost at home to Forest 3-0. So, we've had them results where you go, right, Liverpool back on track, beat Eintracht Frankfurt, 5-1 away, Champions League, now they'll be fine. And then bad results again. And then they beat Real Madrid, and it's the great Real Madrid. Well, this Real Madrid is nowhere near as good as Real Madrid teams of the past, by the way, by a country mile. Mbappe's a standout feature of this Real Madrid, but as a team, Real Madrid have had way better sides. And then we lose after the Real Madrid victory.
Listen, we've mentioned it. Each show we've had this discussion about Liverpool is that they've had such an awful summer. Maybe people are just struggling in that dressing room because of what happened to Jota. That has to be factored into things, and we are all considering that, and hope that they can turn it around. Today, away against West Ham, you've got to hand it to Nuno. You've got to hand it to him.
Yeah,
he's turned their form around nicely, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's finding a way, and he's got good players there. Jarrod Bowen's a good player. Somerville, hopefully for West Ham fans, is now starting to show what they spent the good money on to get him away from Leeds. Paqueta, after all his issues with the stuff of maybe getting banned from football for a while, has all been sorted, and you'd like to think he'd get back to his best football. They've had the young lad Potts come into the team, which is great. It just feels West Ham are far more. I feel like it's changed dramatically at the London Stadium, where for a period it was very, anti, and they're still anti the owners. They are, because that's been there forever. But it just feels like there's a lot more. It feels like they're a little bit more enthusiastic and a bit more optimistic, about their chances. And look, I don't think any Liverpool fan who's watched Liverpool week in, week out, if Liverpool get beat today, they would not be surprised.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
West Ham take on Liverpool 2:05 in the Premier League. All of the updates coming for you on Game Day Live here on talkSPORT. It's time now for this.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply.
So, a lot of people putting up the Christmas tree today. Cass going up tomorrow and getting right into the festive spirit. We are here at talkSPORT. I see that Joe Kingsbury, who looks after our office, has put the tree up on Friday, left it naked.
Oh.
She must be doing it tomorrow. It's a bare naked tree at the moment.
Well, it's the first, isn't it?
No, we can wait. We can hang on. By the way, well done to everyone who's doing good things for charity at this time of year. We've been hearing for a lot of people who are doing Santa dashes, a lot of them getting underway today. Very pleased to say that former Brentford and Barnet manager Martin Allen is with us this morning. Martin taking part in a 5k charity dash today, this morning for the Alexander Devine Children's Hospice. If you're watching on YouTube, you might be in for a little treat, because I believe that Martin is with us now in a Santa suit. Good morning, Martin.
Hello, Martin.
Hello.
Morning, Cascarino.
Hello.
How are you doing, sat in talkSPORT Towers, and I'm freezing my prawn crackers off?
Well, Martin, as I've got to know you over the years, I've always known you to be a bit on the crazy side. So it's no surprise you're out doing this sort of Fanta feast thing.
Well, yeah, it's not as mad and it's not as crazy as it may seem, because it's for a fantastic cause, Tony, Alexander Devine Children's Hospice. I got involved a couple of weeks ago, got roped into this, and Tony, we've raised in just over 10 days £6,000.
Oh, wow.
So it's been an unbelievable effort from all football supporters of all teams all over the country. It's been absolutely amazing, and I can't thank everybody enough.
Tell us about this charity, please.
Tell us about the charity.
Well, I went swimming at my local gym, and when I was leaving, there was a nice lady selling Christmas cards in the hallway and I bought some Christmas cards because it was a children's hospice. I got chatting to her about her voluntary work, and then I volunteered, and I've been doing some work at the hospice, voluntary.
Good man.
And then it came along, and it's been fantastic, and it just snowballed and grown and grown. And I've met a few football supporters along the way that use the hospice, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And here we are today to try and raise a lot of money.
Yeah, well, there's no one better than you, Martin, because your enthusiasm has always stood out.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you'll drive it forward and keep getting more and more people to dip their hands in their pocket at a very difficult time.
Yeah, well, that would be very kind if people did. I do realise it's tough at the moment. I do fully understand how tough it is out there financially. But no, if you could help, that would be great. If you can't help, no problem. And as soon as they say go, Tone, I'm going to be on the front line, and I'm going for it from start to finish, and I'm going to win.
Good. Well,
go for a PB.
What are you now, Martin? What age are you now? So you're going to win the dash, are you?
Tony, what age do you want me to be?
Well, you'd like to be. You're Peter Pan, Martin, so you can be as old as Peter Pan.
Well, I think Tony, I had a knee replacement operation 6 months ago, so this is going to be quite a big test.
Wow.
But there's nothing going to stop me marching round. I can't run it, of course, but definitely going to be walking it and be very, very proud, to be honest.
Good luck. Well done. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Enjoy the dash today, doing good stuff for charity, and have a good 5k, Martin.
Thank you all. Thank you, talkSPORT. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Good luck for you, Martin, and loads of other Santas making that dash today around Windsor and raising money for the Alexander Devine Children's Hospice. Fair play.
Yeah, Martin's, I've got to know Martin over the years because he was the Gillingham manager a number of years ago, and got to know Martin quite well at that time, and great fun.
I love
great
his
fun.
energy. I love that energy. alexanderdevine.enthuse.com/pf/Martin-Allen. That's alexanderdevine.enthuse.com/pf/Martin-Allen to get involved with that, and send some donations if you possibly can. Stick with us. Coming up very, very soon, we're building up to the heavyweight clash later on today. It's Chelsea versus Arsenal at the top of the Premier League. You're listening to The Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
This is the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Who sings it?
I know.
Oh, you're on the spot, my friend.
Oh. Who's the one that sang Barbie Girl? Is it the same group?
Aqua.
Aqua?
It's not Aqua, but
Okay.
I like where you're heading.
Yeah.
Is this the real McCoy?
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
Another Night.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a tune, to be fair. Good morning, this is the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Celtic and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. So there's a story going round this morning that apparently snacks including hula hoops and McCoys could be missing this Christmas after factory workers have voted to go on strike.
Oh.
They're going on strike over pay, but personally I think they should be going on strike over shrinkflation.
Oh, yes, which is everywhere.
How little we get in a packet.
No, I know. It's like the scamming of food, isn't it? Like we get so much less in chocolate. You know, I love chocolate buttons. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And that packet of chocolate buttons has shrunk to an unbelievable level. Honestly.
Unless your hands got bigger.
Well, they probably haven't for quite a number of years. But some of the, you know, you look at the pricing and you say, how much are they in packets? And they're not even a third full.
I know.
But I've noticed it with Roses and Quality Street as well, that they're, you know,
there's less in there.
Less in there.
Less in the packet. Yeah, listen, could you live without hula hoops and McCoys this Christmas?
Of course I could live with
me
that.
too.
Yeah.
What's your favourite crisps, out of curiosity?
The grilled steak.
Oh, the McCoy ones?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you would struggle this Christmas
No,
then.
I'm not going to struggle. I'll just have different crisps.
Have you ever had the sea salt and Chardonnay?
Sea salt and Chardonnay?
Sea salt and Chardonnay.
No, I tell you, I've had fried egg chips. Crisps. You tried them?
No.
Fried egg crisps. They're very expensive,
Ooh.
but they're lovely. They absolutely taste like scrambled fried egg. They taste like fried eggs. They're really, really good.
What's the brand?
I can't remember the brand's name, but if you Googleized it.
Oh, apparently they're a Spanish brand.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They taste exactly like fried eggs.
You've got too much money if you're spending your money on fried egg crisps.
I went to my niece's and she said, "You like these crisps?" And I said, "Fried eggs? Crisps?" And I tried them and it was literally like eating fried egg.
They're weird.
And if you like fried eggs, you'll love them. And I do. So...
£5 a bag. Sam's on to them. He's on
yeah,
Amazon.
they are. They're in a pink bag, I think. I think it's like a pinky bag.
Fried egg crisps.
Fried egg crisp, yeah.
Right, let's crack on.
Oh, very
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of the free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18 plus max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. GambleAware.org.
The penny didn't drop straight away, but yeah. I was now, as you said, I think, well, you can't beat them.
Excellent chat. Oh, you can't beat them? Yes, we can get the latest odds now with Coral and Simon Clare, the extravagant Simon Clare. Morning, sir.
Simon.
Morning, guys. I can't believe anyone watching on YouTube can believe these two athletes eating crisps and chocolates. I mean, surely it's a low carb, high veg diet for the.
Not anymore. I don't know if you noticed, but I retired about 25 years ago. Simon.
Did you listen? Thanks very much for doing Newbury yesterday, both
yeah,
of you.
Great fun.
I listened to the show on the way in. You had some great guests with Jodie Morris and Jack Colback and Stephen Colker. I thought it sounded really good. Ed Chamberlain was great, wasn't he? And obviously, I'm sorry you couldn't stay around, Shebahn, but I think the rest of the talkSPORT team seemed to be enjoying themselves. They were there to the bitter end.
Well, none of us had any winners, Simon. No one got a winner.
We blame you.
Listen, you went racing, you had a good time, you lost a few quid. It's that's kind of what happens, isn't it? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Cass, you know that.
Coming up for us today, brilliant football ahead. Shall we start with Palace against Manchester United? It's live on talkSPORT at lunchtime.
It is your Man United side. They're the 2-1 second favourites. Palace going great, aren't they? They're 11-8 Crystal Palace, sitting in 6th place. Obviously, a win will maintain that at the very least. But there's only 2 points separating them. So it's it's almost like a sort of championship type table, the Premier League. There's so many sides from 2nd to about sort of 14th within a few points of each other. 5-2 the draw. I think this is a great game. It should be an open game. I can't wait to see what happens. How are you feeling, Shebahn? Man United sort of mixed form, I suppose, is the way you describe it.
I'll snatch your hand off for a draw. Because I think that would just steadily get us back on track after last weekend. It was so disappointing. So, I'd snatch your hand off for a cheeky draw, please.
Okay, we can try and do that for you.
Yeah, we've got a number of other games. Obviously, the big one, which is Chelsea taking on Arsenal. But there are other games. Villa are playing, Wolves are playing. So, yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, so just before we get to the big one, I mean, Villa versus Wolves. I said to Gabby earlier in the week, I was sort of surprised suddenly they sort of crept up in the Villa up on fourth place in the table. He took it very personally, like I was criticising them. I was actually crediting them with the way they've really got on a roll. And you know, if they were to win and Chelsea lose, we'll come to that. They could be up in third place, which is amazing.
Yeah,
and they're 8-15 to beat Wolves, and you know, Wolves are struggling, aren't they? So you sort of feel that's likely. Forest Brighton's probably the closest game today. Now that Sean Dyche has started to get a tune out of Forest, it's 13-8 Forest, 13-8 Brighton away from home, 5-2 the draw. So that's probably one of the harder games to call. West Ham Liverpool. Before we get to the big one, we're building up to that. What a game this is. They're all eyes on Arne Slot, Liverpool, their woes. They're 4-7, heavy favourites to beat West Ham away from home. Really?
No way Liverpool 4-7. We're going on evidence of form. Liverpool have to be even money at best. Honestly, Simon.
West Ham aren't that strong at the moment.
Well, they've had a couple. Look, Nunez has had a couple of results, and they look a better team than they were at the start of the season. Yeah. There isn't any evidence of Liverpool being a better side than they've been what we've seen so far. I just don't see it at the moment.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I mean, so excited. I mean, this is why this Premier League is so brilliant at the moment. And then Chelsea-Arsenal. I'm sort of studying the stats a little bit of this. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm hoping this is the game that they continue their inexorable pursuit of the title. But Chelsea are emerging as this kind of quite exciting title contenders. They're still 14-1 for the title. We still think City at 3-1 are much more likely to be the team that chase down Arsenal, who are 4-9 to win this elusive title. But Chelsea are 9-4 at home, 9-4 the draw. It's 5-4 Arsenal away from home. And I've found a couple of reasons to be cheerful for Arsenal fans. They faced Chelsea 4 times in the Premier League when top of the table and won all 4. I've nicked that off somebody else, obviously.
Fair play.
Research. But, and it's 7 years since we've lost at Stamford Bridge. But is this actually a closer game than maybe the odds suggest, both of you?
Yeah, I think, you know, Chelsea have to be at their absolute best today, which they're capable of. And with that, it makes a game. It's just, you know, I did chat with Andy Townsend in midweek and we were talking and saying, there's such a difference playing Arsenal because you have to earn everything you do against them. You know, they don't gift you anything. So, you know, there's no room for error for Chelsea. And even with that, Arsenal is such a tough nut to crack, aren't they?
Yeah. Cole Palmer back as well, things like that. I mean, I won't be surprised if Chelsea cause an upset for Arsenal today. I really won't. But at the same time, Arsenal are just so strong, you know, so strong all over. So we'll see what happens in that one.
It's going to be a good game to watch, that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking forward to that.
What else have we got? We've got Formula One. Should we just touch on Formula One?
Yeah,
Lando Norris, for all those F1 fans out there, and there's plenty of them, is this the day that Lando Norris finally becomes world champion? I mean, he's 1-7 to lift the title. Piastri's on pole. He's 4-9 to win today. It's 4 p.m. the Qatar Grand Prix. Lando's in second spot. He's 5-2, 11-2 Max Verstappen. And, you know, if Lando beats Verstappen and gains 4 points on Piastri, which probably means he's going to have to reverse the places and probably win the race, he'll be world champion today. We saw it last week when both McLarens were disqualified, that like anything can happen. So it's 1-7, but there's still 2 races to go. You know, there's always that tension. So I'm cheering Lando on anyway.
All the updates for you here on talkSPORT. Very quickly, Fairyhouse racing today.
Yeah, listen, dramatic day yesterday. Obviously, it was a big Coral-sponsored fixture. We had a wonderful winner in Panic Attack, winning for Dan Skelton as he goes for the jumps title. And up in Newcastle, anyone who watched the Fighting Fifth and saw Constitution Hill fall again, which was really frustrating for the Henderson team. And then the New Lion fell and Golden Ace called a shot. Dramatic yesterday. But today we've got Ballyburn and Teahupoo, both 11-10 joint favourites in the big race there at the Hatton's Grace at Fairyhouse. A football connection here. Ballyburn's owned by a really popular owner, Ronnie Bartlett. Ronnie's daughter Hayley is married to Thomas Robson Carnu of many fixtures in the Championship and the Premier League, but most famous for that amazing quarter-final goal for Wales against Belgium. So I'll be cheering on Ballyburn this afternoon, but a great day's racing after yesterday.
Simon Clare, as ever, thanks so much for your time. Have a great day.
Guys.
Cheers, Simon.
We'll speak to you again soon. That was the look at the latest odds with Coral. 18+, begambleaware.org. Please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of the free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18+ max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
Coming up for you next, we'll build up to the huge game this afternoon at 4:30. Chelsea take on Arsenal. What a belter.
Yeah. Is that Gary Barlow?
It is. That's Big Barlow. Yeah. Great song.
Yeah.
Take That, Rule the World. Why are we playing Take That? We're just talking about boy bands,
boy
weren't we? But we're talking about boy bands.
Do you know what I forgot and I mentioned? They were one of the original ones, but were unbelievable. And they obviously individually had loads of...
Backstreet Boys.
No, Jackson 5.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson 5. They're basically a boys band, but all brothers. But they were...
Crazy
stuff of the stuff they produced.
Great voices.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gary Barlow's got one of the best voices, I think. I've seen him singing live and I was like,
yeah. Well, he's had success on his own as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. You listen to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Hope you're doing okay this morning. Here's what's coming up for you on talkSPORT today. After us at 9 o'clock, our very own Gary Barlow. Sean Custis is here alongside his Robbie Williams. Henry Winter with a Sunday edition. 11 o'clock we'll bring you live coverage from Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace host Manchester United. It kicks off at 12 o'clock. Adrian Durham there for that one. 2:30 Sunday session. Sam Mata face all of the goals from the Premier League and beyond. There's a number of 2:05 kickoffs to look ahead to in the Premier League. talkSPORT 2, you've got Premier League rugby between Saracens and Bath from 2:45, and then more from the NFL at 5 o'clock over on talkSPORT 2. Madge and Pards will be here for the weekend's football phone-in, 6:30 with the final word, and then Darren Goff's Ashes at 9 o'clock to look ahead to the second test. All coming up for you here on talkSPORT today. Are you going out? Have you got plans? Because it's Sunday and you have a life. Well, download the talkSPORT app and you can take us anywhere with you. This is the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT, and it's time now for this.
Step up to the Oki and win on talkSPORT.
The talkSPORT Darts Presenter Trophy 2025 is so close. It's just around the corner. We're into our third year. 8 of talkSPORT's finest are going head-to-head to win the trophy. Dean Saunders has won it the last 2 years cast. Do you think he can make it 3?
Dino's probably been practising.
Yeah. Quietly practising.
Yeah, he's just a secret squirrel, is Dino. He surprisingly gets involved in the golf, doesn't he? On with
the
Jamie
YouTube channel.
O'Hara,
Yep.
Then he gets involved in the darts.
Yeah, he appears, doesn't he, for the big moments and then takes the trophy maybe for a third year running. This year you could be there, by the way. It's such a fun day. Wednesday the 10th of December in London. For a big talkSPORT fan, you and a friend could be there. Like we say, Dino's up for it again. Natalie Sawyer's taking on Darren Bent in the first round. Natalie beat Darren last time out, which was such a huge shock. I think if Andy or Benty don't win this year, they should leave Drive forever because all they do is talk about darts and play darts. So we'll see how that one goes for them. The very next day, you could be actually heading to the opening day at the PDC World Darts Championship to see some proper dart players in action, and we're going to sort 2 nights in a hotel and a massive £2,500 to play with as well. For your chance to win, text the word WIN to 83338. Texts are £2 plus your one standard network rate message, or you can call 0343 423 97601. Lines close at 4 o'clock next Thursday, and then you'll need to answer your phone to see if you've won it. If it rings, 18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For your chance to win again, text the word WIN to 83338 now. This is a network promotion. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com. Come and see us at the darts on Wednesday the 10th if you win this. Right, coming up for you this afternoon, a massive game at the top of the Premier League. It's at Stamford Bridge.
This is real. Arsenal are the real deal.
And that is a special result for Chelsea, who lead Barcelona.
If Arsenal go and win it, what a statement that is, the last 3 games.
Martinelli is clear. Can he round it off? He does!
Now there's a real belief that they can go that one step further.
Now we have to go to the next one. That's where we are. We knew the importance of the week.
It's a scintillating goal from the boy wonder, Esteval.
Do I think they win the Premier League? No, I don't think they win the Premier League. I think it'll be a fascinating insight into how good they can be against Arsenal.
I mean, we compete always. Then sometimes we are able to win, sometimes we are not able to win. But it's important thing that we compete against anything.
Calafiori, that's a brilliant cross, and it's turned in! Van Wakey!
I can't see anyone catching them, and looking at the teams who are chasing, no one showing the kind of quality, consistency that's needed.
So if Chelsea win today, they'll go within 3 points of Arsenal. Let's get straight into it. Former Arsenal midfielder David Hilliard is with us this morning. Good morning, David.
David.
Good
Good morning.
Yeah. David, obviously you were part of the 1-0 to the Arsenal, and everyone's talking about how good defensively they are. Is there any similarities for you in that team of the sort of mid to late 80s and where we are now?
Absolutely, yeah. I've been saying since the start of the season, probably the end of last season, that Mikel Arteta has definitely been concentrating on that team unit, that defensive unit, everybody getting back on shape. I think we're seeing a lot of rotation on the wings with the fullbacks and with Eze in the midfield. So really good rotation in front, but a really, really steady back line. And the two central midfielders in front of it, Zubimendi, Declan Rice, their partnership is absolutely flourishing at the moment. They're covering each other all the time. They're covering the defence. And then you've got Declan Rice. I mean, against Bayern Munich, the amount of driving runs that he made forward just brings the team up the pitch. Really high line, really confident, but solid.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, and also, Tony, long throws and scoring goals from corners.
Yeah.
So, yeah, two of George Graham's go-tos for the 89 team and 91 team.
I was making a point yesterday, and I was talking to some friends, and I said I've always been a big fan of Gabriel Heinze as a fullback. And I said, I'm watching now, like, two Gabriel Heinzes at Arsenal. Like, he played football for Manchester United, obviously Marseille. You know, where fullbacks are very aggressive in the way they play, and Arsenal's fullbacks are brilliant at doing this. They get really close to you, tight, make it very difficult for you to get past them. But they all both. Calafiore has definitely improved a hell of a lot this season, and likewise Timber. They just offer such a threat going forward as well, David.
Yeah, they've really, really come into their own. I mean, Timber at first, I did feel that he was very played with his heart a lot, very emotionally led. So he would get drawn into diving into challenges, and obviously a lot of work's been done on that, on just staying and getting tight, a bit like Nigel and Lee did back in the day. You know, give maybe a yard to the winger, make him make the decision, and we really saw that against Bayern when Calafiore come on. You know, I'm not going to criticise Miles Lewis-Skelly, but he's a midfielder, really, Miles. You know, he spent most of his younger years as a midfielder, so he didn't get that closeness. And, you know, the two times Arsenal got exposed in that game was down that right-hand channel, one of them being the goal when the ball went over Lewis-Skelly to Elise when he crossed it in for Carl to score. But you don't see that with Calafiore. He's defender first, but he really supports his winger, gives him a lot of time and space and energy, which a winger needs for that overlapping, even underlapping. And Timber, well, he was unbelievable. Great header for the goal. They're both contributing. So, yeah, definitely a big change for Arsenal in those two positions this year, unfortunately, at the cost of Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ben White.
Yeah. Well, look, Chelsea have got great players in wide areas as well. Esteval's a young lad, come in and done brilliantly well. Neto's a real handful. Garnacho's actually settled quite quickly at Chelsea. So they're, you know, and I'd say Reece James one side, and then whether you want to go where it's Cucurella might play that position on the left. They're strong in wide areas, so it makes it a really intriguing game, David.
Yeah, it's going to be a good battle down the wings today. I think Cucurella's in great form. He winds me up sometimes the way he plays. He's got this attitude about him, but he obviously winds the player up he's playing against as well, which is, you know, part and parcel of the game. You know what it's like, Tony. Everybody sort of tries to get at you, put you off your game, you know, verbally or whatever, or the way they carry themselves. But his form for Chelsea and Spain, unbelievable. And he's banging out 90 minutes every week. No, he ain't getting taken off. He's effective in a forward position. Today, possibly with Saka and Timber on one side, he may be held back a little bit. If I don't know who's going to play out on that left-hand side, whether it's Garnacho or they're talking about Cole Palmer coming back in. So, yeah, it's going to be a fascinating battle. But I think down that left-hand side, I think Arsenal are really strong. And whether Trossard plays or not today, he's a little magic man at the moment. He really does make things happen. So it's just going to be a great game. It's going to be absolutely.
I was laughing, David. I was reading the paper today, and it's got a picture of Caicedo and Declan Rice and £200 million sort of battle, you know, £100 million each. And I thought, they forgot about Fernandes. There's £300 million players in this game.
Yeah, and that's cheap. I reckon that's cheap. That's one player that was, for each of them.
Yeah.
At the moment, I mean, Moises Caicedo, he's pulling out all the stops. He's playing at 100% every game. His levels are really high. And I think in order for Chelsea to maintain this form that they're in, he needs to play at the top level. But, it's just going to be tight in that midfield, tight on the wings. I think the only place Arsenal are really going to be comfortable is central defence.
Yeah. Give us a quick prediction, please, before we let you go, David.
Oh, that's tough. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I think they will conceded a couple of goals lately. Chelsea are far too good not to have chances. Loads of shots in the box ratio for Chelsea. So 2-1 Arsenal. All
right. Well, thank you so much for coming on this morning. Good luck today. David Hillier there, former Arsenal midfielder. Take care.
Cheers, David.
Have a great day.
Take care of yourself. Listen, I think there's a wee surprise in there today for.
No, I thought David spoke really well there of the strengths of Arsenal and also recognising that Chelsea are a really dangerous team to play against.
Yeah.
We saw them in World Cup final, how good they can be.
Yeah, Ali McCoy saying earlier on this week, wasn't he, that Declan Rice the best midfielder in world football?
I think that Caicedo is definitely on the same sort of stage for me as Declan Rice.
Oh, he's so good.
And Fernandes has done brilliantly well as well. All £300 million players that these two clubs have obviously brought in.
Yeah, and evenly matched battles in this game today as well.
There's a lot of good quality there.
Across the pitch. Don't forget updates on Game Day Live here on talkSPORT today. Chelsea take on Arsenal from 4:30. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll enter the Court of Arbitration for talkSPORT. We'll discuss the one remaining Premier League game today as well. Villa take on Wolves. Good morning. listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Villa striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your headlines this morning: Georgia Stanway scored a hat-trick as England's final game at Wembley Stadium in 2025 ended with a devastating 8-0 win over China. Devastating for China, not the Lionesses. That's massive. 8-0. Yeah. 74,000 there last night. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And it's all go in the world of sports this week. It does not stop. We have you covered on our website, talksport.com. Here's Sean O'Brien with all you need to know. Sean.
Lots happening on talksport.com. Find out why Luke Littler thinks he has helped Man United sign Antoine Semenyo in January. Read about how the defeated Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley got revenge on Europeans Tommy Fleetwood and Shane Lowry to the tune of $2.1 million. And in snooker, find out how Sean Murphy ruined his own engagement plans with his performances this season. That's all over on talksport.com.
Brilliant stuff. Sean O'Brien there. By the way, it's a huge week of midweek action here on talkSPORT this week. Cash, you'll be busy. You'll need your surround screens all around the room all set up for you this week. But we've got every game for you here on the talkSPORT network, talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT app. Also talksport.com for all the details of the games to come up for you this week. And if you want more on Chelsea versus Arsenal, the talkSPORT Daily podcast today is a debate about their combined 11, which actually one to really think about, isn't it?
What, Chelsea Arsenal? Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, midfield area, some great players in there. Across the board, it's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal, I think, will have more.
Yes.
But it'll be close in some positions.
Another game coming up today, Aston Villa take on Wolves at 2:05. The updates for you here on talkSPORT. On Game Day Live, Villa have won their last 2 home league games against Wolves, having won just one of their previous 9 against them at Villa Park. How do you see this one going today? Credit to Aston Villa. Up to 5th in the table.
Look, they're 5th in the table. They've scored 15 Premier League goals, which is very low to be 5th. And bearing in mind, they really started the season slowly, Shebahn.
Mm-hmm.
So Villa never got going at all. But they're taking on a Wolves team that hasn't had a win. Have been really poor. Look like they're going to get beat comfortably more often than not. So it's a golden opportunity for Villa to get 3 points.
Yeah.
It's been a dreadful season for Wolves. Dreadful. It was. You always expect that teams can sort of fall down the pecking order and, struggle and fight relegation if they keep selling players. They sold Ant Nouri, they sold Cunha, and they've been selling club for quite a while, and yet they have spent money in themselves, but not to the same quality as they brought in.
Going to Aston Villa, John McGinn in the papers today, the captain talking about how strong the side is at the moment in terms of depth. They've got two players in multiple positions. It's the strongest he feels he's seen the club since he's been there. You mentioned yesterday that you think Villa could go up to 2nd in the table.
Well, I said they're a team that I wouldn't rule out being in the... I actually think they could make the top 4, because what I'm seeing players that weren't necessarily starters, like Buendia. It was a player that was a fringe player in and out the team and didn't really settle since he come from Norwich. Now delivering. I think Morgan Rogers is shown. He can get goals as well. The lad Marlan, who's come in, it looks like he's offered and gives something a bit more to the team as well. So they've had players who are on the fringe who have come in. I know Morgan Rogers has been there from the start, really. But then they've got the reliable, trusted... we look at Konza. Ollie Watkins has only got 1 Premier League goal this year. I'm sure he'll have a much better, decent second half. But there's some good things at Villa as well.
Yeah, and you're feeling for Wolves because they're rock bottom, haven't won a game. We like Rob Edwards. You'd like him to be able to turn it around, but it'll be hard to do it today against this Aston Villa.
Well, it will be. Villa have got way more quality. People like Matty Cash are fullbacks who signed a new deal, I think, in the summer. Another, really good, adventurous fullback. Martin is the goalkeeper. I still think he's one of the best, even though he's not played as well this year as he's played in other years. But they've got a lot of good players, Villa. Way more than Wolves.
Aston Villa against Wolves, 2:05 this afternoon. All of the updates for you here on Game Day Live on talkSPORT. And now it's time for this.
Setting the record straight. The Court of Arbitration for talkSPORT. Calling Tony Cascarino.
session. This is the Court of Arbitration for talkSPORT. We ask our video on Tony Cascarino to cast his judgment over some of the most controversial questions in sport and decide their fate. Have a look at this cast. Majestic and Jermaine Pennant discussing celebrities doing football commentary.
Who's a celebrity you'd love to hear football commentary from?
Nigella, I think. Nigella, yeah, she'll be fantastic at commentary as well.
Right, isn't it? As they penetrate the opponent's box.
It was a great bowling and finished by
Imagine her with Donald.
Alexander East.
Big Donald T on there. I got to say that the Chelsea are very good. I actually gave him a trophy once. We had a dance together. I love Reece James. He's a great player.
Imagine Donald Trump's all right.
Yeah. That's brilliant, that stuff. That's so good. You know, one thing I could never do impersonate, but I do love listening to, players or people I've met who can do some good impersonations.
Who would you like to see doing commentary? Who could you like to listen to doing your commentary?
I would probably go a comedian in there somewhere. Someone like Mickey Flanagan or Ricky Gervais, someone I think they would really give a bit edgy commentary. Any singers in there? I'm a Liam Gallagher. I mean, Liam or Noel, because Noel's really absolutely knows stuff about City. He's all over City. He doesn't miss a trick. Well, so it'd be interesting to see if Noel Gallagher could do a commentary without having that bias.
Yeah. Stephen Colker was with us yesterday. I'd put him on commentary.
He's got a voice.
That voice.
Yeah, brilliant voice.
Not over it. It was like Barry White of football.
Yeah.
It really was. Cass, thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful Sunday. You're putting up the Christmas tree tomorrow. But maybe today.
I'll probably pop out. But...
You might be washing his hair. Have yourself a great day. Don't forget Crystal Palace against Manchester United, live and exclusive here on talkSPORT from midday. Coming up next, it's the Sunday edition with Sean Custis and Henry Winter. Enjoy.